Hi everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stands. We're live for Manchester United against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. Massive game for United. The response, I suppose, is what we're going to call it, because we know we've got no Varane, we know we've got no Martinez, we know we've got no Rashford, we know we've got no Shaw, we know we've got no McTominay. There is even talk that we've got no Malacia. We'll wait and see about that as the team hits the screen, because the Manchester United 11 is coming out. Apparently it's Bruno, Sabitzer, Casemiro in the midfield. Dalot's playing at left back with Wan-Bissaka at right back, Magaluf at centre back, De Gea, front three, Martial, Anthony and Sancho is what we're expecting that team to be dropped. But Hazim says, well, that's a good thing because Malacia deserves to be dropped anyway. We're just waiting for the Manchester United team to drop. I think you may already have it, some of you in the chat, so we'll react to that and see if it is as has been leaked. Ten Hag's arriving with a cap on his head. He's a peaky blinder. Let's hope it is a blinder for Manchester United. We need a big performance, that's for sure. I'm intrigued to see what the bench is going to be today. I really am. But okay, we've got the team here. It's interesting that Manchester United put up a picture of Malacia because he's not even on the bench. Brandon Williams is on the bench. So it is the team that we predicted, or we were told. It is De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Lindelof and Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro and Sabitzer, with Anthony, Sancho and Anthony Martial starts the game as well, which, you know, in my preview I didn't include Anthony Martial in the team because I thought, well, you know, there was this rumour that he wouldn't be able to play 2 games in 3 days. Saka is getting racial abuse again for missing a penalty. What a disgrace, says Yannick. It is a disgrace. I've got that game on at the moment. I mean, I actually do want Arsenal. It's weird. I actually do want Arsenal to score a winner. I don't want them to draw with West Ham. But anyway, it's a weird scenario. Definitely a weird scenario. Yeah, really, that midfield and attack is one that I'm quite happy with. Not gonna lie about that. What happened to Malacia? I don't know. I wouldn't imagine he'd be dropped completely. The Manchester United bench is Butland, Gerardo, Williams, Ericsson, Fred, Pelistri, Iqbal, Alanga and Weghorst. That might be, and somebody can compete with this, I'm sure, that might be Man United's worst bench of the season, which, to be honest with you, is because we've got so many players injured. As I said, Luke Shaw, Malacia's not there, McTominay's not there, Martinez is not there, Varane is not there, Rashford is not there. So that's why you end up with, you know, Butland obviously is the goalkeeper, but Brandon Williams on the bench, Gerardo, obviously a young player, Ericsson and Fred is fine, Pelistri is fine, but Iqbal's a young player, Alanga and Weghorst. I mean, look, we've got to get the job done with the first 11, really, because apart from bringing Ericsson and Fred on, and maybe Pelistri, I think there's not anything on the bench where you go, let's change that. And ultimately, that's probably why Anthony Martial is starting the game, because you can't see United putting a strong team out without that. But the bench looks a little bit weak. But I think when you've got so many injuries, I suppose it's inevitable that that's probably going to happen, isn't it? So, look, give us your thoughts on the team. I don't think there can be any real complaints in relation to the starting 11 for Manchester United. Chandu says, what's your thoughts on Arsenal bottling the league? Well, they've still got 20 minutes. They have missed the penalty. But yeah, they've still got 20 minutes. There's the Manchester United lineup for you on the screen there for you now. We will be playing in white, by the way. But that's the Nottingham Forest team in red. 2 teams in red there at the moment. We need to fix the stats carousel. Thank you very much, Albert, for stating the obvious. Slow sports news there from Albert. What's happened to Fred, says Cage? I don't know. I mean, look, I don't really think it's anything to massively write home about. But I do agree. What has happened to Fred? It is quite interesting in that sense, because I think he's such an interesting player for Ten Hag this season. But where would you start Fred today anyway? I mean, I think there were opportunities where we could have played Fred. Why is Bruno not playing at number 8, says Ray. I think we could have played Fred. I don't take any notice of the starting 11 on the formations. Don't take any notice about that. I mean, that just comes in from our stats provider, which is obviously OneFootball. Links in the video description. Download it for free. Get all your latest breaking football news and stats. Also, they take it down to a granular level with player stats as well, whereas we just do it for the team. But I don't have a problem with Fred not starting today, because I think you know, Sabitzer, Casemiro, and Bruno is an exciting midfield three. We want to be progressive, and you know, Sancho, Anthony, and Martial is an exciting front three as well. Defensively, I think it's quite encouraging that we're playing Sabitzer and Bruno, because traditionally Solskjaer, when he played Maguire and Lindelof, he would play McFred in front of them, and obviously the fullbacks would tuck in. The thing is, we know more about Maguire and Lindelof than Ten Hag. You know, this is not the first time we've seen Maguire and Lindelof play together. We've had a, you know, what, 2 seasons of it really. They're probably going to play the way they played under Solskjaer, because it's like putting on a comfy pair of slippers, isn't it? Effectively, Maguire and Lindelof, they do have an understanding, but it tends to make us play a certain way. So I'm very intrigued to see how that's going to work, because it's if we protect them, it can work quite well. And I'd be interested to see how we play. Will we just leave Casemiro to protect them, or will the fullback stay deep and protect them? It's going to be really interesting. We've got to win this match, says Sadiq. And I agree. You know, you look at that league table, we've got a great opportunity to go really clear of Spurs, 6 points clear of Spurs with the game in hand, 3 points clear of Newcastle. If we can find a way of winning today, I think it's massive for our top 4 hopes, as many people say. Am I confident of it? I've gone with a draw, so I just don't know what we're going to get with Manchester United today. I think it's. I saw Adam's road trip, and I was quite encouraged by his positivity that it would be an easy win. I hope it is an easy win, but I'm with just Kevin. I'd take a scrappy 1-0 here. I think that predicting anything on an unpredictable team is very, 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 very difficult, and they are an unpredictable team. There's no doubt about that. They're very, very, very unpredictable, Manchester United, quite simply because of the injuries that they've got. We haven't seen this centre-back pairing. We haven't seen this back four. I don't know what the situation is with... obviously, Catherine saying, smash and grab, let's go. John O'Connell's a member as well. He says Bruno to lead the team. Well, obviously, Maguire will be the captain. He's the club captain. I don't think there's any surprises about that. But I do... think that I don't know what's happening with Malacia. He's not on the bench, Will. Sniffer says that Forest have got a lot of injuries as well. I don't really know enough about their season to know what their strongest 11 is anyway. I think if I look at their starting lineup for you, let's have a quick look. They've gone with Navas in goal, Felipe, McKenna, Nikate, Williams, Freuler, Oliveira, Loddy, Gibbs, White, Johnson, Awania. They've gone with 2 up front. I can't speak about... I'm surprised. Dean Henderson wouldn't play today. Is he back fit yet? Anyway, I don't think they play him anyway. But I think it's quite interesting that they've basically gone with a 5-3-2, because it's very important, if you're playing against Maguire and Lindelof, to put 2 players against them if you can, with pace. I have a feeling this game will be similar to when we played Leeds away a few months ago. Fingers crossed we can stay injury free today as well. So straight out of Cloyne. And Malacia has 1 bad game and he's dropped completely. What the hell, says Yellow Bathing Suit. I can't believe that Malacia would be dropped completely. He must carry an injury. I agree. I think Malacia did have a bad game against Sevilla, but I would not be not having him on the bench and putting Brandon Williams there. There's been some shocking. There's been some shocking performances from Manchester United this season, and players have played the very next game. Look, McTominay against Fulham was disgraceful, and he played the next 2. So I can't imagine that Erik Ten Hag is going to drop Malacia just because of the game against Sevilla. I really don't think that would be the case. No, Luke Shaw's not back on the bench, so we see Brandon Williams on there. Moy says, are you going to predict Maguire to score again? I'll tell you what, I'll bloody love it if Harry Maguire scores today. I don't really care who scores today. I'm hoping we're going to see a good performance from Harry Maguire. Look, if we don't see a good performance from Harry Maguire, it's going to be difficult for us to win. We need these players to start delivering now. And look, it's not a one-off game, is it? This is the way. Luckhurst has apparently said that Malacia is out with a sore knee, so it's another injury, really, isn't it? Another injury to another defender. But we need these players to start delivering, and not just today, but for the rest of the season. This is not a one-off. We haven't got Varane or Martinez coming back for Sevilla or Brighton. We are going to be playing this back four. Well, we won't even play this back four against Brighton because Maguire can't play. Hopefully Luke Shaw's back for that game, and it will be Shaw and Lindelof. But we will need Malacia for that game. So I think it's really interesting to see how this team works, because it's basically our first team. You know, Rashford will come in and Luke Shaw will come in, but really the defence has got to work. So we've got to be behind it, and we've got to hope that it does deliver, because if it doesn't, we're in a spot of bother, aren't we? So I hope everyone's feeling confident. Make sure you smash a like on the video, get your comments in. Delo at left back, says Blut. You feel good? Funnily enough, I would have played Delo at left back anyway today. I think that was the logical thing to do. I do. I really do think that Delo at left back today makes a lot of sense, because Malacia had a bad game. Obviously, he's injured anyway, but he had a bad game. West Ham have just hit the post. Arsenal's title hopes are going up in smoke here. I've got it on. They were 2-0 up again, like they were 2-0 up at Anfield, and they just seem to have run out of steam at the worst possible time. Would have been a great result for Arsenal, this, but they just can't find it. Strong midfield to cover the defensive shortcomings, says Enjoy Writing. That's how I hope this game's going to play out, if I'm being honest. I think that defensively we know it's a problem, but I would liken this to England. You know, England play Maguire, and I don't really rate him that much, but how many games did England win comfortably with Harry Maguire in the team? And I'm not picking on Harry Maguire there. What I'm saying is you can have Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof and you can still win a game comfortably. If your midfield and your attack do their job, the defence don't get exposed anyway. So, look, I think a lot of people are worrying about this defence, but if the midfield and the attack play well, it won't even matter. And I think that's the thing I'm sort of looking forward to, is hopefully that'll be good. And I agree with what Thuto says. The bench is a problem. There's nothing on the bench. It is looking horrible, like a Man City treble at the moment, isn't it? Somebody just said that in the chat. Gaz FM. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to stop City at the moment. I really struggle to think who will stop them. Arsenal look like they've ran out of air, and that, you know, it's a shame for Arsenal, but it does. It's not looking good, Brubs, says Just Kevin. Obviously, Real Madrid have been very good as well. I think in the Champions League, I think Man City would beat Real Madrid. I was amazed at how open Real Madrid were at the back, and Chelsea couldn't exploit it. And then in the FA Cup, you could argue that us and Brighton have just had a few injuries that are, you know, weakening our season as well. So, yeah, but that's a conversation for another day. We've got to get top four. I mean, one thing I don't want to be next season is back in Thursday night football. I think we're weak in defence, says Darren. Slow Sports News, Darren. Well, thanks very much. I'll tell Simon. I'd rather City win the league. Arsenal are the bigger rivals, and City have got history. Mario G, I don't know what book you've read or how long you've supported the club, but there's no way Arsenal are bigger rivals than Man City this season. Absolutely not. I mean, Man City are our City rivals. Like, they're about to equal our 3 titles in a row record. They could win a treble, and you think Arsenal are a bigger rival? I don't get that. We had a very good rival with Arsenal in the late 90s, but no, I'm not having that. I would prefer Makeda over Weghorst, says Gareth. Thank you very much for your super chats. You can do that through the $sign, by the way. And surely all of City's titles will become completely redundant because of the FA charge, says Connor. Yeah, well, there's I wouldn't bet on that, to be honest with you. What happened to Malacia, says Mahad. Apparently Malacia has got an injury, so he's not available for today's game. He will hopefully be back this week, because we need him back this week. But I'm just reading here that Besiktas are lining up a move to bring Wout Weghorst back on loan this summer. By all means, please do. That would be a real positive. I don't want to keep Weghorst. I think it was a nice fantasy, but yeah, I don't want to keep him. I don't know whether anyone else in the chat agrees with that. Sore knee for Malacia, that's why he's not in the squad. And David De Gea has been speaking ahead of the game. He says, we've got a few injuries, not just in defence, but across the team. I think we showed that we have a good group. The player who came off the bench had an impact. I think so everyone is ready to play and perform. You know what? It could be a... Oh, get that out of my mouth. It could be a really interesting game for David De Gea tonight. Could be this evening. Could be a really intriguing game. It could be really important for us. It's who knows? I think this is going to be a tight, tough game. I really do. But I'm just trying to keep an eye on things here. Thanks, Mark, for everything you do. We believe in our team. What they did this season is above all our expectations. Says Salim, thank you very much for the positivity. Kane plus Ferguson or Osman for 140 million. Says Franco. Yeah, you're not getting Kane and Ferguson for 140 million, Franco. So I think that's an irrelevance, if I'm being honest. I can't answer that question because you're making it sound like it's real. Do you lose to Brighton or lose to City in the final and contribute to the treble win they get? I think Brighton beat us personally in the semi, says Sam. Don't matter face. I don't know what that one means because you're just talking about losing. I'm not going to predict that. We don't know what McTominay's injury is at the moment, Sid. He is out injured. Obviously, he missed the Sevilla game. I get the feeling that for Sevilla, we will have a few players back. I think Luke Shaw will be back. I think McTominay will be back. And there is this rumour that Marcus Rashford might be back. But we need Luke Shaw back, and we need him back quickly. Because if he's not back, then we are really, really struggling at the back. Back. We need him back because we're struggling at the back. Let's have a look at the United team. People don't seem to know what it is. So there it is for you. Harry Maguire plays with Victor Lindelof at the back. Of course he does. Wan-Bissaka is at right back. Dalot is at left back. He has played there before. And I think he was left back at Porto before we signed him. We've got Bruno and Casemiro with Sabitzer as the 10. And then we've got Jadon Sancho, who needs to deliver today. I mean, this is a game where Jadon Sancho can really step up as a Man United player because I'll talk about it in a minute, but it's a massive game for Sancho. And then we've got Anthony and Martial. And of course, we don't expect Anthony Martial to play 90 minutes, do we? I expect substitutions around an hour that people are going to moan about because I don't think there is a chance in anyone that we're going to see Anthony Martial complete 90 minutes today. I just don't think it's possible in his development. So, but yeah, going back to Jadon Sancho, I think it's a massive game for him. We shouldn't keep Vout, but it's not personal, says Enjoy Writing. And welcome to the members club, Scorpio17. Thank you very much. It's such a big game for Jadon Sancho because I think that one thing I'd be really surprised about is if Forest don't work their arse off and get physical. I think that's their only chance. They've got the crowd as well. So I think you've got to put a shift in today. God, it's almost Tony Pulis and Sam Allardyce tactics, isn't it? But it really is about winning the second balls, being physical, competing for everything. And therefore we've got to do that as well because, you know, there's a referee out there, there's a home crowd that's against us. We've got to be physical. We've got to work hard. And that's something that some people have levelled at Sancho quite consistently, and look, he didn't have a particularly good game on Thursday, did he? So it's a really good opportunity for Jadon Sancho today to right those wrongs and show that he can put in that type of a shift, especially in a game like this. I mean, who would have thought a few weeks ago that Manchester United against Nottingham Forest would be such a big game for us? I think really we would have been looking at this and going, we've just got to turn up with the players that we've got. We've just got to turn up and we'll win the game. But no, that's not the case. It really is a tough one for us. Weghorst can be the next Phil Jones, says Bailey White. And Mark, would you take Antonio at United? No, I bloody wouldn't. With the results yesterday, we have to win today and capitalise on the other opening points. And looks like Okay, I don't know what that's all about. Thoughts on Brennan Johnson, says John. I think he's an interesting player. Look, what we can't see today, and I'm pretty sure it's something that Eric Ten Hag will speak to, Casemiro about and Bruno about, is we can't see situations where Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire are left in 2v2 that can't happen, because if that happens, we're in a big spot of bother. So we've got to protect our back four, but also be an offensive side. That's why I've gone with a draw. I think a draw is quite predictable, but hopefully will be better than many people are expecting. But it's the unknown. Where have your standards gone? Happy with keeping Martial? Let's just keep all the dross this team has. This is why we need Qatar and a major overhaul, says Stuart Walker. What are you talking about standards? There's nothing wrong with Anthony Martial. The manager himself absolutely loves Anthony Martial. The issue with Martial is injury. It's not quality, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. If you want to talk about standards, let's talk about McTominay. Let's talk about Maguire. I mean, Martial's not in that category. I think Martial's a fantastic player. He just can't stay fit. I would rather have Mendy in defence than Maguire, says Darren. He's going to have a good game tonight. We're going to have a good game from him. And if Luke Shaw continues to be out, do you think Delo will be the preference over Malacia at left back for the rest of the season, says Skydiving? The trouble with Delo as the preference at left back is that if Wan-Bissaka gets injured, who's playing at right back? You know, we're down to Brandon Williams. That is worrying. Can you name one or two signings since Van Persie have actually had a big impact? Signings since Fergie's reign just seem to be wasted or low impact, says Harvey. Well, you just got a season where we've got loads. Eriksen, Martinez, Casemiro. They've had big impacts. Bruno's had a big impact as well. So, yeah. Hassan says it's official that Malacia is absent from today's game due to a sore knee. So massive injury problems for Manchester United. Arsenal are heading towards a draw at West Ham, which is a terrible result if you don't want Man City to win the league, because this really dents Arsenal's hopes. I think Man City are going to win the league now. I don't think anything's going to stop that. But it's 2-2 with about 3 minutes to go, and West Ham have got a corner. Casemiro has been the biggest signing since Sir Alex Ferguson, says Lee Berman. And Casemiro, a lot of people saying this, might have to bring in Brandon Williams, says Paul Lucas. Well, we might have to. You know, look, I think at the end of the day, we're approaching the end of the season. We've been in this position before. I remember the Europa League final that we played against Ajax. There was, 3 players on crutches? Bailly, Shaw and Zlatan. You know, I remember going to Arsenal. I think Mourinho basically gave up on the league. And we were picking people like Twan Sebi, etc. So I think that Simon Hooper is the ref today, says Cameron Wilson. We've just got to get over the line, haven't we? I mean, I don't think... we were in a position where at one point people were saying we're in a league title race. Well, we obviously weren't. And even if we were, I think this would have been catastrophic for that. Our target this season was top 4. That's what we need to get. I think winning the Carabao Cup is fantastic. Winning a bit of silverware for the first time in years is fantastic for us. But ultimately, we want to be playing Tuesday, Wednesday night football, not Thursday night football next season. So that's what we need to do. Arsenal just put a cross in here. There's about 2 minutes to go. City shouldn't be in the league, and now they'll probably win the treble. It's rubbish, says Eugene. Enjoy Writing says Sancho is not the quickest, but he's the right age. Frightening pace in attack was a hallmark of United under Ferguson. Pace all over the park, says Enjoy Writing. And what's going on with Fred, says Spoiled Ballot Papers. Don't know. We've spoken about that. He's on the bench. But honestly, what's the issue with Fred? Like, why would Fred even play today when you look at that midfield 3? You've got Sabitzer, Bruno and Casemiro. And I think if Fred started, people would be saying, why has Sabitzer been benched when he scored 2 goals? So I think there has been opportunities to pick Fred. I think there's something going on with Fred. I agree. But, he was regularly playing quite regularly, which is obviously not the sort of words I wanted to get out. But I think there is an issue with Fred, but I don't think Fred not playing today is really necessarily a big thing. Derek says, the truth is we've been really unlucky lately, and red cards, injuries, missed chances, just not rolling for us. Thank you, Derek. And He was playing quite regularly. That's the problem, says Osman. About 30 seconds left in this Arsenal game. Saka did miss the penalty and missed quite a big chance as well. But no, I mean, look, there's obviously something with Fred that Ten Hag doesn't appreciate at the moment. And I know that can sound like quite a negative term, but there clearly is something with Fred at the moment that he didn't use him when Casemiro was out. I think McTominay started 3 games in a row, didn't he? As did Sabitzer. So there's clearly something. But I think this is just about to finish. 2-2, I think, for Arsenal. That's probably curtains. Arteta out, says Mick J. Yeah, that's a terrible result for Arsenal. There's absolutely no doubts about that. That puts them... I don't know what that does for the league, actually. The league table was on the screen, but let me have a quick look if you're interested. Well, I suppose we are interested, aren't we? As it stands, Arsenal go to 74 points. If Man City win their game in hand, they're a point behind them. So if they beat them, it's not even about goal difference anymore, is it? So fantastic point for West Ham. Fantastic point for Manchester City. But Arsenal, it's just starting to run out a bit, isn't it? 2 points from their last 6. That's not title-winning form when you're up against somebody like Manchester City, who are a juggernaut. So big loss. Well, not a loss, but it'll feel like a loss. Especially, again, from Arsenal's point of view, 2-0 up away from home again, and they've blown a lead. I think you've got to look at yourself there. Is it possible to bring Eric Bailly back at this point, says A11? I don't think so. And do you think Fred not playing... I don't know about bringing Eric Bailly back. I don't know why that's not been addressed, actually. But maybe there's a reason why that can't happen. I don't think he's registered in the squad for Euro. He won't be. I don't think he'd be registered, would he, for the Premier? I don't know. I don't know how that works. We're not playing FIFA, are we? So I don't know whether you can bring him back on loan and he can play in the Premier League. Do you think Fred not playing might be an indicator that Erik ten Hag might seek to sell him in the summer? Well, I do, Stephen. I mean, if you want to have that chat, which we clearly did as a super chat, I do think it's an indication that Fred might be going in the summer, because when Casemiro's out and Eriksen's out and he doesn't start 3 Premier League games against Newcastle, Brentford or Everton, then what's the point in giving him a new contract? I personally thought we would be giving him a new contract, but if he's not playing, what's the point? It's like what we said about Sabitzer a couple of weeks ago. I like Sabitzer, but if he's not going to start, don't buy him. There's no point in buying players that can't compete for first team spots. Z says we need to decouple Magaluf. Lindelof's levels above Maguire and has played consistently well for us. If Ollie hadn't made Harry captain, he'd be the 3rd choice. There we go. And Erik ten Hag has realised that Fred is a liability anywhere near our box, says Som. But you know what? I don't want to demean or ignore or dismiss those people in the chat who are saying what's happening with Fred, because I think it is a valid point. But you know, he was a player. I mean, look at that Spurs game at Old Trafford. He was man of the match. And I've not always been Fred's biggest fan, but I think he does offer something. And I've said it a few times, I'm very surprised that Fred's not been used over the last few games and basically is just a cameo. But what's actually happened is, whether you like it or not, Fred's Erik ten Hag's midfield list at the moment, in order of, well, let's go through it. In the midfield, it's Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksen, Sabitzer. McTominay's 5th choice, and then Fred is 6th choice. That's where it is at the moment. And if you are 6th choice and we're going to buy another midfielder, it's time to go. But maybe Sabitzer will go back to Bayern, I don't know. But at the moment, Fred is the 6th choice midfielder, and that's why he's not getting any game time, isn't it? At centre-back, before the Martinez and Varane injury, it was Martinez, Varane, Maguire, 3rd choice, and Lindelof was 4th choice. Whether you agree that or not, it's very clear from what Ten Hag's been doing recently. Ryan, thank you for being a member for 11 months. Ari says, can you please explain to me why the fan base is so high on Sancho? He hasn't played well for us consistently, yet everyone wants to give chances after chances, says Ari. Well, look, on Jadon Sancho, I've already said, I think this is a massive game for Sancho today, and hopefully he can perform well in it, because these are the sort of games where Sancho gets criticism for not working hard. I think Sancho's absolutely fine in the last 20 minutes when we're 2-0 up at Old Trafford and there's loads of space and he can pick a pass and drive forward. But when it's 0-0 at the City ground and they're going to fight and be physical, let's see how well he does against this Nico Williams, who is quite energetic. So it's a big opportunity for Sancho. But I would also say as well, for all those people who aren't sure about Sancho, and I remember Charlie Max was saying this morning, who else would you play today? Pelistri's not a left winger. So Alanga, Sancho's got to start for me today. When Rashford's fit, he's out the team again, isn't he? And that's the thing, that's the problem Sancho's got. When Rashford's fit, he's back on the bench. Now, can a 75 million, 300 grand a week player be on the bench? And that's what Sancho needs to step up and not be. Hi Mark, being optimistic and going for a sneaky 1-0 today. Also, do you reckon you'd beat Ben Foster in an arm wrestle? Trying the football fill-in tomorrow, says John. Felix says, let's buy Sabitzer. He ain't getting cheaper. Tottenham's also interested, says Felix. Fred is best as an offensive midfielder, but we've got plenty of better options there. As a DM, he is a nightmare, says Sam. I think Fred's good as a complementary player to Casemiro. I think sticking Fred next to Casemiro works quite well. And I think Fred's the most tenacious midfielder we've got. I think he'd be quite useful in this game, actually. But I can understand why he's picking Sabitzer and Bruno, because technically they're better. Who do you think is captain without Bruno and Maguire, says Brock? Well, I think it should be Casemiro, because Casemiro is the Brazil captain, isn't he? So that's where I would go with that. Arsenal have drawn. They've bottled the title, says Alex. It's not looking good, bruv, for Arsenal, which is a shame, because I wanted them to win the league. 2-0 up again, and they have bottled another lead. And look, you know what? Drawing at Anfield, you can justify. Drawing at West Ham, after being 2-0 up, that's going to hurt. That is really going to hurt. And, they've got to look at that and go, why? Why has that happened? Why have we not been able to win that game today? But look, we ain't Arsenal. It's not the Arsenal stand. It's the United stand. So that's where we are with that. And we can't really say anything else on that at the moment. Just having a look at the chats coming in. I've lost them. So the team is out. Not really any surprises. Delo at left back might be a surprise to some, but Malacia isn't even on the bench. So, there's nothing we can say about that. Delo comes in at left back. Brandon Williams is on the bench. Defensively, we don't really have anything on the bench. If there's any injuries, we are where we are with it, I guess. You've got a Manchester United midfield, which I think is good enough to win this game, in Casemiro, Sabitzer and Bruno, and it is quite offensive. I'm intrigued tactically how we're going to line up. I've got to say that's my big interest. I'm intrigued how we're going to line up tactically, because my experience of watching Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire is I used to call them Victor the Vacuum and Harry the Hoover, because fullbacks, you're not going anywhere, come and hug me, and CDM, McFred and McTominay stand in front of me. It was very compact and don't leave us on our own, and counter-attack. But I don't think that midfield is set up to be that deep, so it doesn't look like Erik ten Hag is looking to sit deep and protect Maguire and Lindelof. To me, it looks like we're going to probably try and play like we always play, which is fullbacks going forward. Delo will go forward. Wan-Bissaka will go forward. Casemiro sitting. Sabitzer and Bruno being offensive. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see, because we all know the vulnerabilities of Maguire and Lindelof if they're left on their own. But it does sort of look like they might be left on their own. That's my tactical assessment on it. I'd be very interested to hear some of yours. But yeah, it looks a little bit like we're just going to not play how we used to do under Solskjaer. Any idea on what position the youngster on the bench is, says Ross Knight. I think you're talking about Gerardo. Look, I'm not a massive watcher of the youth. I know who he is. I think I might be mixing him up with Alvaro, though. I think Gerardo's a fullback. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he is a fullback. I don't think he's a centre back. And I'm right. A lot of people are saying he's a right back. So we don't have a centre back cover on the bench. We've got Butland, Gerardo, Williams, Ericsson, Fred, Pelistri, Weghorst and Elanga. None of those players can play centre-back. In fact, Weghorst is probably the most suitable one. You got 2 full-backs, 2 small midfielders, and then Weghorst, Pelistri and Elanga. So if Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof get injured, there's only one player that can play centre-back, Casemiro. Or you'd put Dalot or Wan-Bissaka at centre-back and put one of the bench players on. Somebody in the chat just said, Zulf says, why is Dalot playing at left-back? Because it's the only option we've got, mate. Who else can play at left-back? Brandon Williams? Would you rather Brandon Williams play at left-back than Dalot? They're both right-footed anyway, so I'd go Dalot over Williams any day of the week. I mean, I don't think Brandon Williams has started a Premier League game for Man United for 2 years. So, yeah, that's why Dalot's playing at left-back, because Malassia's injured, Luke Shaw's injured. Rahul says our bench is awful. Look, I'm excited about today. I think there's a lot of trepidation, a lot of concern in the chat. I get it. I do get it. We're way more vulnerable than we thought we were going to be before the game against Sevilla. But I'm excited about this. I think we're going to have to battle for it. And, there's nowhere to hide in a game like this. I think, as we've seen so many times before, there's a lot of players over the last 18 months at United who might not be starting games, but are very vocal about how good they are. Well, we've got an injury crisis. You're starting. Come on. Lindelof is apparently wanting to leave because he wants first-team football. You've got 7 weeks of first-team football, mate, in a team that could win 2 trophies and get top 4. You might, wherever you go, you might not replicate that again. I mean, look, if Victor Lindelof goes to play for Lazio or Valencia, will he have a chance of winning the Europa League, the FA Cup, and getting top 4? What a platform it is for Lindelof. What a platform it is for Harry Maguire. What a platform it is for Dalot. These players have got an amazing opportunity in front of them, and look, we need them. We need them to deliver. Of course we do. Inter and Milan wanted me. I was being hypothetical. I mean, I like Lindelof. I think he's a good player, but he's been looking to leave. Maguire said he's got nothing to prove. Dalot's been offered a new contract. Well, look, I don't think any of them would have started if we hadn't have had the injuries. They're all starting. Let's see what it's all about. Take your chance. Simple as. Peter Vandenberg, thank you very much for joining the Members Club. You can do that by clicking the join button. And Christian says, a 2-0 win to United. Victor is lucky to be here, says Christian. Okay. If you want to do a super chat, you can do that through the $sign. Also, make sure you, if you want to be a member, you can click the join button. Maybe Weghorst has been playing in the wrong position his whole career. He's a centre-back, says Paul Lucas. Maybe. If you want to subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner to do that. Just looking at... I'm just going to get some Eric Ten Hag quotes for you now. We're only 100 subscribers away from 631,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, you're very, very welcome. Interesting morning show this morning. I was just looking at that. I don't know how many of you saw the morning show this morning. Martial stays, Greenwood goes. Anthony Martial, according to Eric Ten Hag, will stay at Manchester United next season. Lots of people had predicted he was on the transfer market. I'd never heard that. It never made any sense. Look, I didn't even think Martial would start today, so fantastic to see. Lingard not starting for Nottingham Forest. I think that just shows an inexperience of people thinking he actually has been a good signing for them. I mean, God, aren't you happy we got rid of Jesse Lingard? What a stupid career move that was. That's a prime example of the Dele Alli factor, isn't it? Hype before ability. I mean, I never thought Lingard was that bad. I didn't want him at Man United. I remember some of you lot saying we should keep Lingard. Just never good enough for that level at all. And he can't even get in a Nottingham Forest side. I mean, what has he done with his career? Has he just took his eye off the ball? Can we have a minute on Jesse Lingard? Why is Lingard so crap? Why can't he get in a relegation side? I don't get it. What goes on with these footballers that they just switch off? There's just certain players out there that just seem to switch off in their career, and you'd think Jesse Lingard we saw what he did at West Ham. He looked quite decent, but just seems to have switched off. Can Bay or Twansebi be recalled from loan, says Uhtred? Don't ask me. I don't know. I really don't. Come on, United. I honestly feel this is a bigger game than Sevilla on Thursday. Would take a 0-1 all day, says David. Here's a poll for you. You can only win one. Who would you rather beat? And you can't say both because that's the whole point. So would you rather beat Forest and get 3 points today? Or would you rather beat Sevilla and go through to the semi-finals of the Europa League? Which one would you rather do? I jinxed Arsenal, by the way. Done it again. Look, I can't have jinx powers. I've said this before. It makes no sense, right? I know what happened on Thursday and I know it keeps happening, but I cannot have jinx powers. People keep messaging me and saying, you have got jinx powers, Mark. You'll do something on a Saturday afternoon and suddenly it'll change completely. You have got jinx powers. I did it today. Arsenal 2-0 up and went, well, that's game over then. Thursday night, I can't imagine Sevilla scoring before the end of May. They go and score straight away. But I can't have jinx powers. Even though I'm starting to worry about them myself, I cannot have jinx powers because why would God or any other religion or any other power that's out there, I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to leave the atheists out. How can there be a power up there that listens to what I say and go, I'm going to teach him again? Like, why would they do that and not bring my pet hamster back? Stop him running away from home and committing suicide by running across the road. Like, why would he not stop that? But he would do me on results. I can't have jinx powers. There's so many things that happen that this power could stop. I don't think he's just having a laugh messing around. But yeah, so I can't have jinx powers. Don't believe the hype. Stephen says, about Martial, I like his play, but if you're Eric Ten Hag, how do you build an attack around him if he's given his injury record? I think with Anthony Martial, what's happening with Anthony Martial? I think with Anthony Martial, what Eric Ten Hag is doing is he is basically saying how much he loves him. And he said, I didn't jinx the hamster. I didn't say I bet you can't run across the road. I think with Anthony Martial, what he's doing is he likes him. He wants him to do really, really well. And I think what he's doing with Martial is just basically, if he can get through the next 7 weeks and deliver, he'll be forever in his power, in his debt. And I think for Martial, it really is about, and God, we're all like that, aren't we? Because if it's not Martial, it's Weghorst. And I'm telling you now, respect to Weghorst, but Anthony Martial or Weghorst is like your best ever sandwich ever, Martial, and a shit sandwich, Weghorst. It's just not, well, no, that's too far. That's too far. A lettuce sandwich. It's just not the same. It's not the same, is it? DF says it's going to be an easy win today. Is it really? Is it really? I'll take any win. Forget easy win, DF. Any win. I'll take any win today. Jonathan says, what are you doing with your chair? It's called stretching, mate. Fingers crossed Harry has got his shoes on the right feet today. I can see a big game from Delo. 3-0 United. Love the channel, Mark, says Sammy. I'd love to be in a comfortable position. That's what she said. I would love United to be comfortable in this game today. I think it would be really great to get the 3 points. In fact, let's just have a look at the league table. Don't forget, we're sponsored by OneFootball. Links in the video description. You can download it for free on Apple and Android, or you can scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner. OneFootball, get all your latest breaking football news and transfer news there. But the thing I really like about it is the fact that our stats carousel, which I'll just show you very quickly, just to evidence it for you. Our stats carousel, which will update live with possession, total shots, etc., that updates by the second. But on the OneFootball app, you can go into the players. So if you want to see how many successful 50-yard passes Harry Maguire plays or how many tackles Casemiro makes, you can check that out on the app individually for the Man United Forest game as well. So download it for free. OneFootball. I know a lot of people like that sort of thing. Right, let's have a look at the table. So the league table at the moment, this is how it stands. Obviously, Arsenal have drawn today, so it's not looking good, bruv. But from Manchester United's point of view, as we saw yesterday, Spurs losing to Bournemouth, wow. Newcastle getting beat by Aston Villa, not a major surprise. Villa are doing fantastically well. But we don't need to worry about Aston Villa because we've got 2 games in hand on Aston Villa. we need to worry about Aston Villa if we don't win those games in hand and they beat us at Old Trafford. So I'm not worried about Aston Villa. Same thing about Brighton. I think Brighton aren't anything for us to be too worried about because we've got a 7-point lead on them. Spurs and Newcastle are the immediate danger. If we win today against Nottingham Forest, who are a relegation candidate, we go to 59 points. That puts us 6 points ahead of Spurs, and we've got a game in hand. So, look, it puts us in a very, very, very strong position. And that's what we've got to do. It's about 3 points today. I think forget any bias you have towards a certain player. Forget any bias you have towards, how we're going to play. I don't care how we play. I don't care who scores. I would love at the end of the game to be going, my man of the match is Harry Maguire. I'm giving him a 9. He scored a hat-trick. He's cleared 3 off the line. His third goal, he started with it on the penalty box, went through the whole team and smashed it in the top corner. I will love to be doing that. Because you know what? For me, it's never personal. It's just, all it is I don't think he's very good. I don't think he's good enough to be a Man United player. If he proves he is, I'll be the first in line. It's as simple as that. So I don't care how we win today. They're all United players. We're one team, and we've just got to grind a result out today. And the way to grind that result out is to do it as a team through hard work, because that's what we're going to play. If we match Nottingham Forest's hard work, we will win, because we've got better players. The quality can't come out until you battle through. They're fighting relegation. This is like, remember that year we lost to Barnsley under Sir Alex? This is their first game against Nottingham Forest, against Manchester United in the league in years. Years and years and years. People there will have bought this ticket months ago. When Forest got promoted, they'd have been looking at, when are we playing Man United and Liverpool at home? This is a massive game for them. It's a Sunday afternoon. It'll be a sellout. Also, they win today. Look at the bottom. They win today, they'll stay up. It's so tight at the bottom. If they can win today or even get a point, they'll probably stay up. So they're going to be absolutely on this, and we've got to be on it as well. We've got to be absolutely up for it. So United working on their back 4 lines there. Lindelof. Looks like Lindelof's playing left-sided centre-back. Why does this annoys me, right? Harry Maguire spent 3 years as our left-sided centre-back. We bought Martinez, and he suddenly wants to be a right-sided centre-back again. I don't get why he couldn't just stay at the left-sided centre-back position. Like, Varane's and Martinez is out for the season. Varane will be back soon. So, logically, you want to be the left-sided centre-back, don't you? Why are so many of them wearing pink boots today? Dalot, Ericsson, Bruno and Sancho. Don't worry about the pink boots. That's just a Phil Jones thing, Will. Maybe your jinx powers are like the charmed ones, Mark. You use them for personal gain. Otherwise, I'm sure you would be directing them at City, says Glenny Boy. And Otto, thank you very much for joining the members club. Let's get some comments from Eric Ten Hag. I know that they've come in. So let's have a quick look at what Eric Ten Hag has had to say ahead of the game today. Just a few selected comments from him. Let's go. So, Ten Hag has had this to say. The title is gone, but reaching the Champions League is the aim, and also a trophy. All right, I think that's a separate thing. I thought we'd become Arsenal. I think he was trying to say reaching top 4 is a trophy. God, no, not the top 4 trophy, not the 4th place trophy. No, he says top 4 is the aim and a trophy. He says we're in the position we want to be in. Not many clubs in Europe are still fighting for 3 trophies. Points get more expensive, and you have to fight for it, like against Brentford and Everton. We were maybe only good for 55 minutes for Sevilla, and then you get hammered. We have to act as machines. We know why we are here, and it's only about 3 points, so we have to find a way to win. But we want to play good football, and that is always the intention. If you can't play football, then you have to win. Eric Ten Hag, for us, every game is big. That is the approach. Martial, is happy to be on the pitch. We need all 11 players with a team performance, and then when we do that, we have a good chance to win the game. On Gerardo's inclusion, he's not here for the experience, he's here to contribute, who is a young right-back from the youth side, so he's been called up, which is fantastic. Well done to him. Welcome to the Members Club, Otto. Welcome to the Members Club, Sankadeep. I don't like the hate I'm seeing Veghorst get in the fan base, says Joshua Bowater. He's not good enough, but he's come in and seen us through the last few months while Martial's been on the medical table. Played a lot too. Joshua, totally agree. I like Weghorst on a player level. I like him. I think he's not very good, but I've always said that. I've always said that though, haven't I? I think Weghorst, basically begged Besiktas to let him come to us. We had no money. We needed somebody. He's basically a body, isn't he? That's what he is. He's somebody that we needed to put in the team for a few weeks because we had nobody else, and we should be grateful for that. But he has been well recompensed for it. I'd want to swim from Turkey to come to Manchester United if I was at Besiktas. You know, what an opportunity it is. The trouble with Weghorst is, if I say this, who was the better loan, Ighalo or Weghorst? The cold, harsh facts, Joshua, in my opinion, is that Ighalo was a better signing than Weghorst. And that, unfortunately, is the problem with Weghorst. He's ridiculously limited. He's not quick enough for this league, unfortunately. He didn't work at Burnley, and he doesn't work here. He's not good enough for the Premier League because the Premier League's too quick for him. That's the problem. The Premier League has even when the Premier League wasn't considered the best league in the world, technically it would be La Liga. The Premier League's always been quick, 100 miles an hour, and it doesn't suit Weghorst because he's not quick. But I do like him, and we should be grateful to him, but only as grateful as you are for somebody who delivers a sandwich when you want a lasagna. It's food, but it ain't delicious. Sabitzer out apparently through injury during the warm-ups, as James. I've not heard about that. Mark, please say, Vermin, I bet you won't become rich and successful very soon. Successful jinx. Oh, people are using me for jinx powers now. It doesn't work, bro. Return of the Blackpool Donkeys Beach Brigade, says Michael. I hope not. And I don't like Maguire at all, but since he's part of the team, I'm rooting for him to have a good game. Hope we get the Maguire from the national team. I agree, Jim. I agree. I think that, you know what? There's idiots out there who actually, if we win 1-0 today and Maguire scores, they'll be like, I've always supported Maguire. Sit down, Goldbridge and the United stand, the toxic stand. We sat you down. And I'm like, can I just say this before the game? I hope Maguire scores today and we win. I want 3 points. I want to give him man of the match. I'm saying it before the game so people don't just say, oh, you're only saying it when we've won. I want Man United to win. I want him to score. And I want 3 points. Because you know what? That's all I've ever wanted. When we paid £80 million for him, I wanted to get an £80 million centre-back. The fact is, over the last 3 years, he's been consistently not good enough. So I don't retract any statement I've made about him not being good enough or any player rating where I've given him a 3 or a 4. Because his consistent level is not good enough. But there's nobody else. So I'm absolutely begging we get a big performance from him today. I really, really do hope that happens. Apparently Sabitzer is out. Sabitzer is out. What's going on at United? What's going on, eh? So let me just get this right. Bruno can't play on Thursday. Sabitzer's now injured. Eriksen's only just back from injury. We've got no Luke Shaw, no Marcus Rashford, no Scott McTominay, no Malacia, no Varane, no Martinez, and now no Sabitzer. What is going on at Manchester United? It's not the fact that he's going to miss this game. I'm more thinking about how long is he out for now. Because even 1 week, which let's be honest, 1 week isn't even an injury, it's just precaution. 1 week injury puts him out of the Sevilla and Brighton. So Eriksen to me in the last couple of games hasn't even looked fit. So yeah, I don't know. Well, look, they're showing the highlights of the last time United played Forest in the league at the City Ground and we won 8-1. So I'll tell you what, I hope their defence plays like this then, because that would be absolutely fantastic. But 8-1, we'd love that. Solskjaer got 4 off the bench. I don't know what the injury is for Sabitzer. I don't know that anybody would know what the injury is for Sabitzer because it's obviously happened very, very quickly. But it also reduces our bench options as well. I would have played Fred. can I just say, with complete and utter honesty, I would have played Fred. Because he picked up a knock in training, Sabitzer. Right, okay. I can't. It's a knock. It's a knock for Sabitzer. He's not even been part of the teams. He's hardly played any football this season, has he? So I don't think you can say it's down to volume of games. But we are cursed at the moment. Forget being jinxed. We're cursed at the moment. So Sabitzer is out of the team and Eriksson starts. I'd have started Fred. Instead. Get a bit of energy in there. But that just shows you how far down the line Fred is in at the moment. So I can't speak, says Marcus. Look, it was going to be a difficult game anyway. I'm not going to pass judgment. We've got to get out there and get a result. You know, we enjoyed what Bournemouth did yesterday to Spurs. We enjoyed what Villa did yesterday to Newcastle. I don't want to be enjoying what Forest can do to Man United. Fred can't pass a blunt if his life depended on it, says Obam. My only concern about... I'm not jinxing anybody. My only concern about Eriksson is I don't think he's looked very fit the last 2 games he's come on. So is he capable of playing today? Well, he is going to play today, but you know, how well will he play today? I suppose is a bit of a consideration. But I'm excited, everybody. I'm excited. Please do smash a like on the video, share the video, get involved. What an afternoon of football this is going to be. It doesn't rain, it pours, says Joshua. Gutted about Sabitzer, but Nottingham don't stand a chance against the Great Wall of Ollie. What's the over-under on number of times Maguire points today, says Colin. I like this. I'm going to say that Harry Maguire will point over 20 times today. Count them. Also had a super chat come in. Sorry, a member, Noah, says Iqbal needs to play. Quality player there. Also would rather Twan Sebi play than Maguire. We're going to lose top 4 with Maguire at centre-back and captain. There's nothing like a bit of positivity, Noah, is there? Players are walking out onto the pitch. I'm feeling positive. I don't know why. I think we can do this today because I think everybody's being so negative. I think it's going to be a positive. I've purposely gone for a draw because I think we're going to win. Figure that one out. But look, Sabitzer's gone and got injured in the warm-up. Malacia isn't on the bench because he's got an injury. Add that to Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Rashford, McTominay. We've got 7, arguably, well, certainly 7 first-team / immediate bench players injured. We've not even mentioned in the build-up that we played on Thursday night. So this is only 3 days later, isn't it, really? Positive note, hopefully Sabitzer is rested for midweek. Depends what it is, Dale. Let's go, says Tumbleweed. I mean, my concern about Sabitzer, obviously we're going to miss him today, right before the kickoff. But on top of that, it's not just that. It's where is it? You know, what is it? You know, is it just, you know what? My hamstring feels like I might have done something to it. I don't want to risk it. I'll be fine for Sevilla. Or is it, I've done something to my hamstring. I'm going to be out for 4 weeks. So it's the fixtures with the squad catching up on him, says Daniel Elliott. Thanks for your super chat. You can do that through the $. Thanks for all the new members as well. We did a little bit of a poll before the game. Who would you rather beat, Forest today or Sevilla on Thursday? 67% of you would rather win in the Europa League on Thursday than in the league against Forest today, which is interesting because I think if we win today, it basically gives us a firm grasp on top 4, which is really important. But I think I'd take the win today. I think it's really important that we win today. I think if we didn't win today, it would be a hammer blow to the mentality of the team. You lose to Forest, a relegation team, and open the door up to everyone behind you. I think it becomes an absolute open door to everybody chasing us down. Something happened between Fred and Ten Hag, especially since Fred has been playing good this year compared to previous years, says Jim. Look, it's a story no one wants to talk about, but I think that something has happened with Fred. I don't know what it is, but he hasn't started a game since before the international break, where he was playing quite regularly. I mean, Fred was getting picked ahead of Ericsson sometimes, wasn't he? Although Ericsson's been injured a long time, I know. Let's play a drinking game. A shot for every sideways pass Maguire makes would be wasted by the 30th minutes of him. Can I just say, let's do something else. Let's get behind Harry Maguire and hope he's man of the match and scores the winner. Because we've got nobody else. We've got to get behind these players. We find out who's up for the fight now, says John D. And hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Done that one from DJ as well. Or have we done that one from DJ? Oh no, he's got a new drinking game. Every time Harry Maguire points, have a shot. Everyone wants to do drinking games. Sabitzer needed these chances to cement a place in the first team to earn that contract he wants. Hope the injury isn't too bad so he can do that, says Lee. Well, it's the thing about Sabitzer is it's his second... it's a groin injury. Is Sabitzer injury prone? He's had 2 injuries. That groin's put him out. He's gone. He ain't playing on Thursday then. So there's no Bruno, no Sabitzer for Thursday. So now we've got no... we've gone from having no CDM. Casemiro comes back. Now we've got no centre-backs. Now we've got no attacking midfielders. I can't speak! I can't speak! What the bloody hell's going on? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I can't speak. I can't speak. So we've got no Bruno on Thursday, and we've got no Sabitzer on Thursday by the looks of it. Sabitzer's had a groin injury. We just started the first half here. Ericsson's come in off the cold, and Forest are going to play with 2 up front here. So very interesting. But look, hopefully United can play some good football. Jadon Sancho there, just muscled out of it, but trying to be direct from the start. Come on, United, says Kevin Shields. Well, hopefully we're going to play quite progressive. Nice ball by Ericsson there into Wan-Bissaka. And it looks like we're going to play quite aggressive and quite oppressive. Because Wan-Bissaka's already way up in the half of Forest. Question Adam should have asked, why is Fred not playing? Nice ball into Bruno. Cross isn't bad. This should be 1-0. Oh, what a chance. Sancho. He's got to score. And he hasn't scored. That should have been 1-0. Oh, it fell to him in the box. It's either a brilliant block or he should score. I don't know. Cross comes in. Lovely ball by Anthony into Bruno. The cross is good. Navas stretches his arm out. There's a lot of players there. I think Sancho's gone for placement. I don't know how much of the goal he can see. I thought he might go high the other side. I think he was going to miss anyway. Looks like it was going wide anyway. Big chance. Training setup an issue with all these injuries, says Enjoy Writing. Well, it's always been a suspicion that United's fitness department isn't that good. Gutted about Sabitzer, but Nottingham don't stand a chance against the Great Wall of Ollie. I've done that one from Colin Rogers. Thank you very much. Used his wrong foot, says Paul. It was a big chance for United, that. But a good start anyway. We've carved them open in the first minute. De Gea, nice little ball. We're looking to play quite progressive football here. I think Ten Hag will be quite happy with the first couple of minutes here. I'm quite encouraged by what we've done. So Lindelof is playing as the left-sided centre-back, not Maguire. That's not correct. Maguire's playing right-sided centre-back. Lindelof is playing a left-sided centre-back. He should have blasted it, says Suvic. I would have laced it, yeah. I would have just laced it as hard as I could on target. And I'd have gone near post instead of far post. But again, it's a bit like Sancho in the first minute against Sevilla. He should have stayed on side. And I think sometimes you don't realise what it's like in the first minute or two of a game. You're not really warmed up. Here's Bruno. United have started off very well, though. Yeah, you're not really warmed up. And placing it in the bottom corner. Oh, Maguire. He's not... Oh, no, he's been booked already. Harry Maguire has been booked, and I don't know why. All I saw is 2 people... Like a young couple on a summer's night in the yard, lying on the grass, having a cuddle. I don't know what happened. He's booked him for taking him down. Yeah. You know why. Ball in behind him against pace, and he's just pulled him down. It was a yellow card. Wan-Bissaka's gone forward and he's caught himself in a position where he's in a one-on-one and he's had to pull him down. And that's what's happened. be a long afternoon. Wan-Bissaka's got to stay back. If I'm Ten Hag, I'm now saying to Wan-Bissaka, you've got to stay back, mate. You cannot leave Maguire in that position on a yellow card. He can't be left on his own now. Mark, Glazers in Nottingham 3-0, Sevilla 2-0, Brighton 1-0, City to win the league, Jinx Powers, come on United, can't wait to be at Wembley next weekend, says Bourbon with friends. Well, it's been an eventful first 4 minutes here. Sancho's had a chance to make it 1-0. Harry Maguire's been booked. It's certainly living up to the hype. I feel sorry for Harry Maguire there because I think he's stuck in the worst position he can be. The striker's turned him. Oh, he's nearly messed about there. He's had a bad start here, Maguire. He needs to switch on. He's under pressure. He's licking his lips. They're at him. They're getting at him here. Some guys I just can't wear the shirts as enjoy writing. He's under pressure. He's got to get his head in the game here. Got to get his head in the game here. Bruno should be having a word. Interested to see if the tactical masterclass Ten Hag will have to pull off to finish the season well. Let's go United, says Dakota. Have we a centre-back on the bench, says Darren. Nope. Maguire's won that header well. Oh, good block by Wan-Bissaka. I tell you what, Forest playing head tennis in the box and they nearly got a shot off, but it's with Ante. I tell you what, it's a good game. It's a good game. Leo, thank you very much for the super chat. Maguire's got nothing to prove though, Mark, says RF. I don't know whether has De Gea got injured here as well. I think he's all right. Hi, Mark. You're telling me we have no youth centre-backs, says Ishmael. Well, we do, but obviously Ten Hag doesn't feel that they're ready at the moment. Chat and Mark, what's the percentage of landing Osimhen, says Harrison? I don't think it's very good, actually. I think we're going to sign Harry Kane. You said Spurs fans are bad for booing Sanchez, but you slate and hate on Harry Maguire week in, week out, says Henry. Yeah, I've seen Spurs fans going on about this. Can you show me the clip where I said that Spurs fans did that? That was a caller. That was a caller who phoned in about Davinson Sanchez, not me. I didn't even know Davinson Sanchez had been booed. So it just shows you, isn't it? You can actually make a story up without even knowing it. Delo over the bar. That was a caller on the Talk Sport show last night who said it was a disgrace that Davinson Sanchez was booed yesterday. It wasn't my topic. Somebody called in and did it. It wasn't me. So sit down, Henry. If Ten Hag thinks Maguire is good, it makes me question him, and maybe he isn't the coach this team needs to do it. Yeah, but there's no one else. Like, I don't know why people are talking about Harry Maguire like it's Ten Hag's problem. We've got no other centre-back. What's he supposed to do? I told you, De Gea. I said De Gea had gone down. Look at this. He's injured now. Hope you're well, Mark. Not confident with this defence, says David. New drinking game. Day drinking, watching a United win. And then more drinking during match reaction. Well, Butland's warming up now. Phil Jones is needed. I prefer him to Maguire, says Reflex. Oh, this season's going up in smoke. Mark, do you think McTominay gets a look at centre-back when he comes back, says Boardman with friends? Probably. Okay. This is incredible. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Get me that bloody inhaler again. I can't breathe. De Gea's gone down injured now. The downfall of our season, says somebody in the chat. Good cross. Oh, nearly a goal. Felipe heads it over the bar for Forest defensively. It was a great cross by Bruno. It's all going on. What's going on? United players are dropping like flies. Who's next, says 5150. I'm thinking about Sevilla. I'm thinking about Brighton. Any injury now basically puts somebody out for 3, 4, 5 games. Here's Wan-Bissaka up against Brennan Johnson. It's Forest on the break. He's done well, Wan-Bissaka. Well, I'm more interested in David De Gea here. An eventful first 8 minutes. Wan-Bissaka does really well. Likes a slide, doesn't he? What happened to Sabitzer? A groin strain, apparently, Shady. Definitely got injured in the warm-up. Wear and tear, says Irish. De Gea's looking like he's all right at the moment, which is good. Forest are launching these long balls, long throw-ins into the box. This should be easy work for... Oh, Martial wins that. Delo clears it. Offside. Just keep an eye on De Gea here. You might be in the squad at this rate, Mark, says Enjoy Writing. De Gea looks like he's all right. He's running around without a limp, so that's good. Yeah, I think he's. I think he just fell funny on his ankle, and he looks all right now. Nice play by Ericsson. Brennan Johnson's gone injured now for Forest. Hi Mark, is there a strong concern now Maguire gets himself sent off and suspended even longer, says Luke. Look, just because you get booked in the first 3 minutes doesn't mean you're going to get sent off. I think it's very unlikely that Harry Maguire will get sent off, but obviously it wasn't great defending, and it just puts a little bit of concern there because he does like to jump into tackles. I can't spake, I've played the game. Maguire is absolute dumpster juice, says Ricky. The effect of so many games with a paper-thin squad was bound to catch up on us eventually, says Neil. As Eric Ten Hag said, these players are not machines. Jack says, next season we'll be like Liverpool, fall off a cliff as we are doing what they did last season, every cup and every game till the end, plus the World Cup, says Jack. And Steve Cooker looks like he's been smoking too much before the game, says Connor. I don't know about that. Is Forrest Johnson related to Wes Brown? No, he's the son of a footballer called Andrew Johnson who used to play up front. I think he used to play up front for Ipswich, if anyone can remember. Thanks very much for all the super chats, by the way. We've just had an injury break here at the moment. Post is quite happy with how we're playing. Considering Wan-Bissaka is supposed to be being put on the transfer list, I keep hearing and seeing Wan-Bissaka do well, says DeMark. Yes, he is doing very well. Doing very well. Delo at left back's been all right. Maguire points to Delo. I think when we've got going, we've been we've looked threatening. At this point, I'm more scared about injuries going into a game than a bloody draw or a loss, says A11. Casemiro is going to have to put a shift in to cover that back line, says Vol. And Bourbon with Friends has just gifted a membership. Yeah, the problem with the Maguire yellow card is that it came from what Forrest just tried to do there. Wan-Bissaka goes forward, which leaves that channel. And Forest have got two up front. So Maguire and Lindelof can't palm off a centre-back. They can't palm off a forward. They're basically in a 2v2 situation, so they've got to defend. Nice ball in behind for Anthony. He's done well. There's Bruno. Into Ericsson. Switch. He's gone. Martial, good play. Good hold-up play. Give it back to Ericsson and move. Go on, that's it. Pass and move. Ericsson is going to go wide. Bruno. See, Wan-Bissaka's so far forward. If we get broke upon. Here's Anthony. Zachary, thank you very much for the super chat. Maguire can't play against Brighton anyway. So... Oh, he's just played a bad pass. He's not having a very good game, Maguire. We need to give him a boost. We're only 10 subscribers away from 631,000, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Cameras are focusing on Maguire a lot, which I think suggests he's not having a great game. He just needs to settle down. I think he's hyped himself up too much. Got to calm down. Ronnie Pickering. He's got to calm himself down. See, they're hitting that channel. That's what they're trying to do. And I don't want to see that. I do not want to see that. Somebody made a great point in the chat. What's the best thing that can happen in the next in the first 20 minutes of this game? Normally, as the home team, you want a good start in the first 20 minutes if it's at Old Trafford. But I think when you're the hot favourites like us against a relegation team like them, they will grow into the game if we let them. So we need to. You don't want many 50-50s. You don't want many free kicks. You don't want many, yellow card decisions. You want to just dominate the ball and keep them quiet and go 1-0 up and, really just dominate the ball. When you're away from home in a game like this, that's what you want. You don't want to be giving them an opportunity, letting them grow in. And at the moment, I think we're doing reasonably well. They've not really looked. I mean, Neil says we look disjointed. I think on the attack, we've looked quite good. I mean, look, we've worked an opportunity there. It would take a very good finish by Anthony to score. The Sancho chance in the first minute probably should have gone in if it had happened a little bit later. We've had a lot of the ball. We've dominated the ball in effect. They've not really had any chances yet. So I'm reasonably happy. But obviously, if you don't score, they will grow into the game. And that's a concern. But at the moment, it's all right. Haven't really seen Casemiro get hold of the game yet, though. Backup centre-back next season. Slabad, Lindelof are too slow, says Vala. Maguire is different level of garbage, says Milverton. It's 0-0, everybody. Let's chill. Maguire just doesn't have the top-level mentality. McTominay's a similar player like this. They need moving on, says Aldo, and just can't relax with those centre-backs, says Charlie. Well, that's what it's going to be for the rest of the season. So, good punch by De Gea. And let them shoot from there all day. Our team's shooting is an absolute disgrace. They should have an automatic week's fine every month until they sort out their conversion rate, says James. Tell you what, De Gea's distribution, I know it's only 17 minutes, but it's been pretty good. And this leads to an attack. You've got to go to Anthony here. This has got to be a shot on goal. He's got to get a shot on goal. Oh, it's been wasted. But Bruno, great save, Navas. Oh, he got a shot on the goal, and boy, did he do well. Doesn't go in, though. Hi, Mark. How long is Kim Min-jae's release clause for? 2 weeks, Azan, at the end of June, 40 million quid. Casemiro owes us a performance as Enjoy Writing, and the TikTok clip makers with lots of footage today for Harry Maguire, says Kevin Miller. Thank you. Well, this was this falls to Bruno. It's a really good shot. It deflects though, and it's a great save by Navas. Yeah, it goes off the hip. Oh, could have done with that going in. Could have done with that going in. Bourbon with Friends says, Mark, the scary thing with all the injuries is that the next 4 matches away from Old Trafford when we could really use that home crowd to push us forward. And the home fans seem to be getting into Maguire's head with chanting Leicester reject. Do you think players ever switch off mentally when playing away, says Shay? Well, yeah, I mean, that should not be making any difference at all. It shouldn't make any difference at all. When I did the Sidemen charity game, that was at Charlton, it was packed. You barely noticed the crowd, whether it was positive or good. Unless you wanted to notice it, you just switch off. So it shouldn't really be impacting on a game where if you're listening to the crowds, you're not doing your job, are you? There's so much to be focused on, especially when you're the captain. Corner in, cleared away by United. Yeah, so yeah, short answer is you shouldn't be too worried about that. Oh, it did drop on Harry Maguire's arm there, you know. Bloody hell. I think it would have been harsh to give a penalty, but it did drop on his arm. I don't think that's a penalty for me. They've shown it 3 times. Not a penalty for me. Not a penalty for me. Throw in, play on. Good. No penalty. He's probably taken a deep breath there. He's picking his nose, actually. But he's probably taken a deep breath. But not a penalty for me. Not a penalty for me. Pulisic didn't get it given for Brighton against Brighton yesterday. So it can't be a penalty. Maguire's getting involved now. He's doing some headers. This is what we want to see. Casemiro. Here we go. Sancho. Giving a foul. Anyone really think that was a penalty? It hits his arm. I think in Europe it's a penalty, but I don't think that's a pen. You've got United fans in the chat saying definite penalty. Come on. Bruno with the cross. Oh, come on. Right across the face of the game. I tell you what, I think Bruno's having a great game, by the way. He's put a great... It was his cross that led to the Sancho chance. He's put this cross in. He had the shot that Navas saved. He's bloody everywhere, Bruno. I think he's having a great game, Bruno Fernandes, today. But obviously, wouldn't have been playing as the 10. If Sabitzer had been fit, he'd have been playing next to Casemiro. But with Eriksen coming in, Bruno's in a more advanced role. Ten Hag's looking a little bit nervy, isn't he? I think it's probably because he knows he's got to take Martial off after about an hour. So he wants to be in front by then. Here we go. Bruno into Martial. This could be a good chance. He's going to have to come back. He's going to have to come back. No. Offside. Bollocks. Bollocks. Not going to moan about that pen then, says 58 Go. No, I'm not going to moan about it because I think Pulisic handled it yesterday and it should have been a penalty, but it wasn't given. So therefore, I'm going off the rules of the game. That's not a penalty. If Brighton had got the penalty yesterday for Pulisic, that's a handball, but they didn't. So, you know, we'll go off the rules of the game. I don't agree with them, but you can't give a handball against Maguire when they didn't give it against Pulisic yesterday. If it's Casemiro, it's a straight red and a penalty, says Alec Mirror. Our fans wanted a pen because it's Maguire, says Robert McCormack. Well, I don't think it was a penalty, so there you go. I can see why people would say it's a handball. I don't like the handball rule, but if you watch the Chelsea-Brighton game yesterday, Pulisic did much the same thing, not given, so therefore you've got to be consistent. Not a penalty, only people who can't ball say it is, says L. 22 minutes though. I think it's been an intriguing game. A little bit bitty, but I still think we look like the more likely team to score. I mean, Forest looking like a relegation side, if I'm being honest. Oh, Maguire did well there. They're looking at that ball in between the centre-backs. Help me, says Harry. Help me, help me. I need some pace. You've done well. He's done well there. Stretched his leg out, stopped it, getting through. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only about 10 away from 631,000. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Mark, do you think Ten Hag sometimes outsmarts himself? His subs and tactics can get too tricky and end up having the desired effects, says Tom. I think Ten Hag has done a fantastic job at United, and I think sometimes we're a little bit, it is his first season in the Premier League. He's only ever managed in the Eredivisie. He will make mistakes. Pep made mistakes in his first season at Man City. They didn't win the league, so... Oh, I thought it was in. Bollocks. It's just gone out. Thank God for that. I really thought we'd conceded there. Maguire, Martial has the ball. Gives it into Casemiro. I was panicking then. Bloody hell. I thought I could see it going in the top corner. Here's Bruno into Eriksen. Yeah, I've not been particularly impressed with the way Forest have moved the ball. So I think as long as we keep doing what we're doing, we've cut back. Eriksen. Oh, the cutback was on there. Anthony was in a good spot. What's happened with Fred? Says Alejandro. We don't know, mate. Tell you what, it's been some lovely little intricate play between Bruno and Eriksen. Got bet on Man United to win. Could win 206 quid, says Reese. What, just for Man United winning? It's got to be more than that. While United are in an injury crisis, Sancho needs to earn his high salary or get rid of him, says Brian. No messing around there from Brian. Mark, I can't believe you don't think that's a penalty. His arms outstretched, unnatural position. It literally falls on his arms, says HW. You know me, I love Maguire. I just don't... I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I very rarely these days say things just to wind people up. I watch a lot of football. If you watch That's Football, you would have been watching the 3 o'clock games with me yesterday. There was a handball by Pulisic. I said that's a penalty. It's another bloody farce that Brighton haven't had a good decision. It wasn't given. So I have an evidence point to say that can't be given against Maguire because they didn't give the one against Pulisic yesterday. So that's why I'm saying, personally, I think they're both penalties. I would want them both. If I'm Brighton, I thought it was a penalty. And if I'm Forest, I would want a penalty for that. If that happened to United, I would want a penalty for both. But, you know, we can't continue to have these inconsistencies. There was one handball yesterday, it wasn't given. There's another handball today, you can't give it. Ten Hag has done as much as he can with resources, says Enjoy Writing. And why are we so crap at defending corners? Always squeaky bum time, says Red Harlow. Thank you very much. Riddler says Sabitzer got a groin injury in training. Yeah, well, hopefully it's not too severe because ultimately I don't think he's going to play against Sevilla now. No Bruno against Sevilla either, so we've got no attacking midfielder. We're going to need Rashford back. I don't know how we're going to win in Sevilla. No Martinez, no Varane, no Bruno, no Sabitzer. Hopefully Shaw and Rashford are back, but... Here's a corner for United. And this has got Harry's name on it. Redemption. Harry the Hurricane Maguire is going to thud this in off his forehead. Oh, I thought he was then. Prediction bridge. Sliced Parachute, thank you very much for the super chat. It's my birthday. Please may you say hi, Kobe. Happy birthday, Kobe. I'll say that. Thank you very much for your super chat. Eriksen looks good, but Casemiro's been invisible and Maguire is a ticking time bomb. Only a matter of time until he gets a red, says Al. I'll tell you now for free. I've played the game. Just because you get booked in the 3rd minute doesn't mean you're going to get sent off. In fact, I think it goes the other way. It's like when you go down to 10 men, people think, oh, we're going to get beat 5-0. A lot of the time, the attacking team finds it hard against 10 men. I think it will be the same. I've seen how many players get booked and you think, oh, we've got to be careful, they're on a red card. I don't think... I'll have a little... Well, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't want to say the words. But you know what I was going to say. I don't think we'll see a red card for United today because I think he'll play more conservative. Midnight says, I think Anthony's been invisible. You see, it's amazing how people watch the game because I think Bruno's been brilliant and I think Anthony's been okay. I think Sancho's been invisible. Do you think we can still win, Mark? Says Jim. Yeah, I think we've been the better team. Look at the stats. We've had 72% possession. 2 shots on target. They've had none. Keep at it. We'll get the goal. They don't look like they've got a goal in them. All right, pick her in. No, I think Anthony's done all right. I think Bruno's the best player on the pitch. I think Sancho's been very, very quiet, apart from that chance. Needs to get in the game a little bit more. But I predicted that. Nico Williams at right wing back for Forest is actually quite an aggressive fullback. And Sancho needs to match that up. I'm going to have a stretch. But John says Sancho's playing well. So that's what I mean. It's always about... I'm not saying he's not playing well, but what I'm saying is I think he needs to step up a little bit. And, you know, everybody sees the game differently because some people like certain players and they don't like certain players and they've got an agenda and this, that and the other. But Harry Maguire's just sang some Bon Jovi there. He just went, living on a prayer. Harold Maguire, second half masterclass incoming, says Jack. Well, he seems to have settled down a bit now, which is the main thing. I think he looked really ropey in the first 10 minutes, but he seems to have settled a bit. And as long as he doesn't get in a foot race, he's fine. If we play a little bit deeper, he'll be fine. It's what you know, we've seen that before. I think we're playing well. Passing it is great, says Bourbon. Yeah, I think it's just at the moment, I guarantee if he spoke to Ten Hag, he'd just say, ooh, shot just wide. I think it's gone for a corner as well. How's that gone for a corner? It's not a corner. It's a goal kick. Give it a corner. What's that a corner for? I can't see any deflection on it. How's that a corner? Why are we not going mad? Onto the roof and the net. Well, it wasn't a bloody corner anyway. Oh, VKR says it did deflect off Ericsson. Okay. I was going to say, De Gea definitely didn't get a touch on it. Oh, country boy! North country boy! What are you sad about? And you said this and that. What do I mean to you? I'll show you if you want me to. I can't remember. Don't remember. I love you all the same. Come on, United. Here we go. Bruno, slip him in. What a pass by Bruno. Anthony Martial. Oh, yes. Anthony. 2-1, 1-0. Get in. Have some of that. Bruno Fernandes, the orchestrator again. Martial with a fantastic shot. And Anthony shuts you up. Get in there. Sit down, Gabby Abgong Lahore. He'll be hating that. He'll be in his hot tub. Absolutely hating that. Anthony scores. United, and it's a great goal, and it all comes from Bruno Fernandes. A mistake by Forest. Look how quick Bruno, most players take a touch. Look at how quick he's there. He plays it first time pass into Martial. That's the killer. It's a good save by Navas, but that's the goal we've been waiting for. I feel it's the goal that was coming, but first time, what a pass by Bruno. Martial does everything right, and Anthony's brave. Love that. Love that. Absolutely love that. Bruno, what a part in that goal. He's had a great start. A great start to this game. We need the points. We need the points. And Anthony scores again. I'll take that. End the match 1-0, says Rashid. Mark, I'm 10 minutes from City Ground. I'm praying we win. Come on, lads. You're amazing. Thanks, Mark. Love the show, says Tracy. Thank you very much, Tracy. Bruno haters sit down whenever the team plays well. They say he's rubbish. I've seen him drag us through seasons. He's been brilliant today, James. My man of the match by a long way. Bruno Fernandes has been incredible today. Absolutely incredible. Stand out. And I'm not saying other people haven't played well, but I just think Bruno's been everywhere. Back in the number 10 for the first time in a long time as well. Smoggy says, I'm really impressed with Ericsson. Love that guy. Not seeing much of Casemiro because he's having to babysit. Yeah, I mean, look, Casemiro, as long as he does that job, I think we're fine, aren't we? But and fair play to Anthony. You know, you've got to be brave. You've got to anticipate that. Martial's played well as well. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Bruno. It's like there's 4 of him on the pitch. There's Bournemouth with friends. Get the second goal. I've got to say, I liked it in the first half against Sevilla, and I've liked it here. The fluidity between the midfield and the attack has been really good. Bruno, Eriksen, Anthony, Sancho, Martial, it's been good. I mean, Sancho's been a little less involved, but when we've got him on the ball, nice little intricate passing. You don't get that with certain other players. You don't get it with Weghorst. Some people say you don't get it with Rashford, but there's just so much intricate little passing going on. Brilliant interception, deserved, let's go, says Mank in Chicago. Delo is having a mature game, moving in the middle on the pitch, and that bit is doing the better, sure, says Joseph. Not to beleaguer the point, but Bruno shows what a leader really is with his play, says Stephen. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I agree. I would take this right now. But I think we can go and get the second goal. I think the way we've gained, I think the way we're managing this game at the moment is fantastic. You know, Maguire is settled and Lindelof looks great as well, says Miles. Yeah, well, we've not. You know what? Fair play to Lindelof, because we've not even spoken about him, which in a sense is a good thing because it means he's having a good game. And Maguire, it could only get better. And to be fair, he has settled down quite nicely now, because it was a bad start. But look, if we can keep a clean sheet from here, that's all we want from those lads. Keep a clean sheet, and we've won this game. But as I say, I think in the final third, the way that we've moved the ball, really impressive. Another corner here. Manners says that Bruno's been average. Whatever. But this is exactly what we were talking about 10 minutes ago, wasn't it? It's 0-0. We have been the better side. What you can't do is allow Forest to grow into the game. You know, get the crowd up a little bit. You know, we've got to keep them quiet, and I think that's what we've done really well. And they've not been able to grow in any momentum at all. Very weird, worried we might drop off in the second half, says Catherine. Well, that's the next battle, isn't it? You know, the second half is the next battle. It's not the battle for now. I think if we get 2 goals, if we can go 2-0 up, I don't, you know, it'd be very hard for them. Hi, Mark. It's time to give up. When your Nan says she feels sorry for the players' mums having to wash those kits, stick to knitting, Nan, says David. And hi, Mark. Do you ever worry about Eric Ten Hag quitting because of Glazers making his job so difficult? No, not really. Who are Cantona? If you think Bruno has been average, you know nothing about football. You've never played the game, says James. He's been brilliant today. Look, Bruno's had his... I mean, I'm a big fan of Bruno Fernandes, as you know. I'm a big fan of... the play had gone down here. Why do so many Arsenal fans watch the live, says Thomas James. I'm a big fan of Bruno Fernandes, but if he doesn't perform, you have to call it out. But I think today's been brilliant. Brilliant one touch play from Bruno today, says Kick It. And Martial's fire. Maguire's on thin ice, says ISO. I think that Forest striker just went down, didn't he, on a one-on-one? But I don't, you're not going to see any problems from that, I don't think. De Gea's distribution has been really good today. It's not simple distribution either, is it? He's knocking it around quite nicely. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. I tell you what, the cameraman must be in love, or camera woman must be in love with Harry Maguire, because I'm not his biggest fan, but I do think they're putting the camera on him a hell of a lot today. All right, he had a shaky start, but he's not been too bad since then. Leave him alone. 7 minutes to go to half-time. I said I was looking forward to this game. I mean, the Sabitzer injury is just typical of our luck at the moment. But I think at the moment, we're looking confident. We're 1-0 up. I think the team's growing. think Casemiro, I agree, has had a very quiet but effective game. He is just sitting in, protecting. He's not really got involved massively in the build-up play. He's just doing his job, protecting that back four, which we knew we would need. Eriksen's had a good game. Anthony's got his goal. Bruno's been everywhere. Right, I'm back in 1 minute. I'm desperate for the toilet. There better not be a goal. I wasn't in there, I went to the toilet. Oh. Do you want to come and say hello?
Okay. No shoes, not that much.
What are you going out for?
Let's do some football.
Oh, it's going out to do some football. Look, 1-0.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it? What, who are you going out to play with?
What?
Who are you going out to play with?
Money just needs to do something and then we're going to play.
Go on then. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Some people have the Mbappe project. I think we're more the old Brighton project, but, you know, he's a trier, and that's what it's all about. Anyway, it's not 2-0, because I can see it's 1-0, but 5 minutes to go to half-time. Mark, love listening to you. If I sent you an invite to my wedding in India, would you come, says Sonia. Probably not, but thanks for the invite. Nothing personal. I just don't think... I barely get time to go and have 3 days away with myself, let alone somebody else's wedding. Dad Bridge says, Sam, thank you very much. Maguire is doing better today for you. He's definitely settled, Jessica. He's definitely settled. And as I say, I think many of us would just take this right here, right now, wouldn't we? Hi, Mark. Don't know if you agree, but I don't think we've seen the best of Bruno yet. I still think he's got another level, says Jeno. Yeah, look, I think the nice thing about Bruno today is that he's played... He's played at number 10 and he's not played there for quite a while. And he's played there really, really well. I mean, I know what Ricky says about him and a few other people say he's quite, you know, he gives the ball away a lot. But I think today he's been really good in possession. Oh, what brilliant defending by Lindelof that was. He'll get a high five from Delo and De Gea there. Very impressed with Lindelof. That was brilliant defending. I think there was a foul on him anyway, but it's a good ball. They get the ball in behind. Maguire steps out for some reason, leaving Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. And Lindelof's had a really good game because, look, the striker's ahead of him there. The striker's ahead of him. Well done. Good play. Not going to say anything on Twitter because I don't want to jinx him. But hey, country boy. I'd say, yeah, I've said it a few times, but the way we've passed the ball today, very impressive, especially around the midfield and the attack. Is Seb's full name Sebastian because Sebastian Goldbridge sounds banging, says Adam. It is. His full name is Sebastian, yeah. Here's Ericsson. Out to Bruno. Patient build-up. And we've given the ball away now. But Delow. Good cover play. Oh, I tell you what, Delow nearly with the assist there. That was probably the best chance they've had of the game. I mean, Delow does really well to cut out the pass, but his first touch play. I mean, what Delow's doing here, I don't know. It's on his strong foot as well. Yeah, he's just overcooked it. And I tell you what, that could have been Delow. De Gea puts his hands on his hips because that could have been a real problem. That could have been a problem there. Thankfully, it wasn't. I've seen nothing that tells me Lindelof is not a better option than Maguire to keep. He's the perfect backup on the bench, as Brad. I've always said that. I think Lindelof offers way more as a backup centre-back than Maguire. I think with Maguire, you either start him or you sell him. Whereas I think Lindelof as a third choice works really well. Eriksen's been brilliant. Low-key brilliant. Two minutes added on. Well, you think about how long Eriksen's been out for. Really, it's the end of January. We've not had Eriksen for like nearly 3 months. So, you know, the influence on his team, it's been out for a while. Here's Bruno. The overlap's got to work here. Eriksen. Nice ball into Delow. Eriksen's going to put the cross in. Oh, what a cross. And for a moment there, I thought Bruno had just scored a cracker. It's a lovely cross by Eriksen. Off his left foot, right on the head of Bruno. It's a great run by Bruno. He's got to score. Got to score. I'm sorry, he's had a great half, but that's a free header on the penalty spot. Misses the target. Put it on the target and the keeper saves it, fine. But, that should be 2. That should be 2. Olu says, I'm the father of twin boys. Love when I see your father to say, what one advice do you have for me with raising my kids, especially boys, says Olu. I don't really give people advice on that, really, because I think each to their own. But, you know, ultimately, I think good parenting is about putting your kids first, isn't it, really? And trying to teach them the principles that are important in life, you know, respect, honesty, trust. Those things, but everybody parents differently, you know. Some people have, you know, from their, you know, there's all sorts of ways of doing it, isn't there? I don't want to say anything controversial, which I nearly just did. We're about to hit half-time here. Manchester United leading 2-0. The referee blows the whistle. Anthony with the goal. Bruno should have scored. You're right. I think as an attacking element, we've always been in control. If you're looking for weaknesses, I genuinely think the only weakness we've had in that game was the first 10 minutes when Maguire was all over the place and got his yellow card. I think apart from that, we haven't really, and the mistake by Delow at the end. I think we've been good. I mean, look, we are playing a relegation side, but I think many of us feared that because we're away from home. We've got so many injuries. Sabitzer went out before the game even started. So, but look, I think we've been the better side. 1-0 at half time, sorry, not 2-0. 1-0 at half time. We've been the better side. As you can see, let me just pause this so we can, you know, take it all in. We've been the better side. We've had 70% possession. We've had 7 shots with 4 on target. They've had no shots on target. We've had more than double the amount of passes. Our pass completion rate is 86%. A lot of that's been in the final third. We are playing more dominant and we're worthy of the lead. And look, as Man United fans, we all know What happened on Thursday night was second half FC. We've got to address that problem in the second half, and Ten Hag will be very aware of it. And 1-0, only takes one slip up, one penalty, one deflection, and all that hard work's undone. So certainly in the second half, you've got to be looking at the game and going, right, let's go and push it, let's pump it up, let's, whatever the term you want to use, let's make sure we get over the line and get the 3 points. Because the second thing I want to show you is this. Doesn't this look nice? And don't worry, it's not that sort of thing. Doesn't that look good at the moment? Manchester United in third place with 59 points. Same amount of games played as Newcastle, but still having a game in hand on Spurs and being 6 points ahead of them. Nine clear of Villa, and we've got games in hand on them. And 10 clear of Brighton, who've got a game in hand on us. That's how important winning is today. The shift in momentum of getting top 4 would be incredible. Absolutely incredible. So look, I don't care how we do it. I really don't. But we've got to get this job done. Good half, says Christopher Day. Few people talking about Sancho and Maguire. We'll talk about that in a moment. Maguire is a problem waiting to happen, says Jaco. Let's focus on the positives. I mean, look, I spoke about Bruno. Brilliant pass into Martial. Good shot, Anthony. Those 3 deserve credit for the goal. Brilliant. But I do want to just give a shout out for Eriksen. We were one of the first communities to speak about the absence of Eriksen and how much it was hurting us, probably in February, really. And basically what we said about Eriksen and what we were missing is that Eriksen makes us create better chances. He links very, very well with the attack, but also he takes the ball deep and links the midfield with the attack as well. He's always open to take the ball off the back 4. He's very, very useful to his left back because he's always showing to play the little 1-2. So that's what we missed without Eriksen. We've seen that today, and look, Sabitzer had to drop out, but actually, could we have had a better half? We might have had a better half with Sabitzer, but it would have had to have a bloody good half to have a better half because Eriksen's been brilliant. So, yeah, the Sabitzer injury is concerning, but Eriksen back for that Sevilla game with Casemiro is a real bonus when you consider Bruno suspended and Sabitzer looks like he'll be injured. I think what Eriksen has given us in that half is very subtle, but it's very obvious to United fans what he brings. Again, it's that he always wants the ball. If he was a granny, he'd be brilliant at knitting because he knits everything together. He wants the ball, he gives the ball, he always operates, moves, looking for space. Put a brilliant cross in for Eriksen, for Bruno. I think we create better with Eriksen in the team and we move the ball better with Eriksen in the team. And those 2 things have been fundamentals today. So look, really, really good performance from him. Has anyone else noticed that Eriksen keeps asking for the ball? That is what we are missing. Exactly, Fabian. Exactly. What's your biggest concerns for the second half after seeing the first half, says Stephen? And Squenzu, thank you very much for being a member. Stephen's point, I think it's momentum. Can we keep it going? Delicate Official says, Maguire is an utter disgrace. He's seriously got nothing left to prove at this level, for real. An absolute meme out there. Get out. Bloody hell. We're playing a really good game right now. Just worried about Maguire in the defence, already on a yellow card. We should win the game, says Attic. Mark, do you think Harry should give up the armband and just work on his game, says Brian? Well, I think he should, but he won't. I don't see player ratings on the website. That's because they don't come out on the website, Altau, until second half. My only worry is that we literally have nothing on the bench. Pellistri maybe. We need Maguire off, but we can't. But who can we play there? Squad is super thin at the moment, says Aram. And with all the Frimpong talk and Wan-Bissaka playing so well, are we actually sure Delo is signing a new contract, says AJ? Well, there's something happening. I think it's Wan-Bissaka wants to leave, but there's something going to happen. If you're signing Frimpong, one of the right backs are going. In relation to the potential negatives, a few people have spoken about Sancho. Max Allen, welcome to the Members Club. Have to say Bruno's been great, needs to score those, as Geordie. I think he should have scored that header, yeah. In relation to the potential negatives, I think that I'll do half-time player ratings in a moment, Eric Ten Hag, the GOAT. I think Sancho's been a bit quiet. He should have scored. I think he's been a bit quiet. But then again, Anthony's drifted in and out of the game as well. I think in relation to Maguire, look, the yellow card was silly. But I think look, it's 45 minutes, so I've got to be very, very careful. But just because you get that early yellow card doesn't mean you can't stabilise, and it doesn't mean you're going to get sent off. And I think what he started, and I agree with Brian, he started really badly. There were some bad passes. He was a bit all over the place. I don't believe that's a handball. I'm looking at it there. I don't think it's a handball. But I got to say, he went from probably a 3 out of 10 to a 6. You know, he's stabilised and looked quite... And that's an improvement. So we need him to stay at that 6 because we need to keep that clean sheet. And we've got nobody else. So let's hope that... You know, I think Lindelof's played really well, by the way. But, yeah, we need to just keep like that. Lindelof and Shaw will be all right to cover, says Dean. In relation to player ratings, look, I don't think De Gea's had a lot to do, but I don't think he's misplaced a pass, and I think he's had quite a few. So I'd give De Gea a good 6.5. I think he's been good for us. Wan-Bissaka again, I think 6.5. Not done anything wrong. Maguire, I'd probably give him a 5 based on a really bad start, but he's getting better, and hopefully by the end of the game that will keep going up. Lindelof 6.5, bordering on a 7. I think he's played really well. Dalot, apart from that mistake at the end, he's given us a lot of balance down that left-hand side, 6.5. Casemiro, probably by his high standards, 6.5. He's doing a protector job today. He's not really in the game, but he's protecting. Eriksen's got to be a 7. Bruno's got to be a 7.5. Martial, I'd give him probably 6.5, bordering on a 7. Sancho's probably down on a 6 for me. And Anthony... probably 6.57 like Martial. So in general, very happy with the team. And I think one thing that I've really liked, and people will say we're a better team without Rashford in it. I don't know how that works. I really don't know how that works because Rashford's been brilliant for us this season. But what I have liked, and one thing that Sancho does give, is that we're playing lots of little intricate passing. We're getting on the ball in the final third, and it's quick and it's nice and there's movement and there's passing, and I think it's easy on the eye. And I think that's I think a lot of that's down to Anthony Martial because you've got somebody who's a number 9 who can play number 9. Going back to what Stephen said about the second half, Dej says that Anthony's so important for the team. He has the matter skill to hold the ball and build dominance in possession. Thank you much for that there, Daj. Welcome to Members Club, Max. Maguire doesn't have to prove anything because he's already proved how consistently poor he is. Shame he's probably going to stay next season, says Lucas. The second half, one thing we have got to consider is I didn't think Martial would start this game based on what Ten Hag said. He said that, Martial, we've got to look after him. And it was looking like he would be unlikely to start. So I've got to say that if Ten Hag was telling the truth, it's probably unlikely that Martial can play 90 minutes if we need him on Thursday, which we do. So at some point, I think Martial has to come off. Now, if you take Anthony Martial off, then you've got to bring Weghorst on. And if you bring Weghorst on, we're not as good. So we need to be scoring a goal early in the second half so that when we have to take Martial off, presuming we will, whatever momentum Forest get from that, we're out of sight. Because I don't see anybody else having... I mean, he might take Eriksen off. Maybe Eriksen can't do 90 either. But I think Martial's probably going to have to come off. And if he comes off, that might give Forest a bit of momentum. I just don't want to be in a position where we're 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go and they start, going for it. And we haven't put the game to bed and Martial's off the pitch. So that's the only thing that worries me is... we've been in this position against Sevilla on Thursday where the game's won and then you end up drawing. So, there is a word for it. I suppose that word is complacency. Let's not be complacent. If we can get second, if Arsenal drop to third, says Umza, I'm not really bothered. Not really bothered about that. Top 4, really. Red Smurf, you're a legend. He's just gifted 5 United Stand memberships. Thank you very much, pal. And Enjoy Writing says Eriksen, Bruno and Casemiro are all pushing 30 or so, plus Varane, Maguire, etc. In the medium term, the age profile of the squad needs to come down. Fair points. It's only season 1 for Erik Ten Hag, though. Remember that. It's only season 1. Please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. We are very close to 631,000. We were only about 100 away before the start of the game. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on the United Stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock, and everything in between. So get involved with the channel. Callum, can I just get rid of Callum? Thank you very much. Have we got... I think he's already gone. Thank you very much for that. Bin him off. He's an idiot. Agallo was so much better than Weghorst. I'd take him any day of the week, says Jay Lings. Thoughts on the Arsenal loss as Belgian? I'll probably put a reaction upon That's Football later on tonight. But I think Man City are going to win the league now. You can't drop 2-0 against West Ham. You can't do that. You can't do that. I think at Anfield it's acceptable, but you can't do it at West Ham. That is. I don't like to use the word because they've been so good, but that is a bottle job from them, really. It's been a good performance. We need to be more clinical, says Sean Jones. And look, City have still got a hell of a lot to do to win the treble, but at this moment in time, it really does look quite likely. There doesn't look to be a team in the Champions League that's better than them. They've got a massive chance of winning the league, and in the FA Cup, we don't look like we'd give Man City a game. I don't think we could give Man City a game. Defensively, I think they'd kill us. Erling Haaland against our centre-backs, I think it would be a complete and utter, how much... Look, Erling Haaland in a Forest team, we might be able to deal with him. Erling Haaland in a team that's going to get up the pitch and play little intricate balls through De Bruyne, I think it would be very, very difficult. I don't think Real Madrid do beat Man City. I hope they do, but I watched the Real Madrid-Chelsea game and I thought Real Madrid were wide open at the back and Chelsea should have really scored a couple of goals, but they couldn't. I think Man City would. Look, there's a long way. I think there's a long way to go in the Champions League for City, but in the League and the FA Cup, they're favourites, aren't they? I hope they don't do the treble. It would be horrible, but we'll have to wait and see. There's a long way to go. Why is nobody mentioning the handball from Maguire? Is it not obvious that it's going on here, says Keith? I'm happy to talk about that. The second half's about to start. If you want the grown-up approach, because it would be very easy for me to say that Maguire, has been a liability and very lucky he didn't give us a penalty away. I mean, if I genuinely had an agenda against Harry Maguire, which apparently I do, which I don't, and I just wanted to ship a load of hate at him, which I don't, I'd say he's been a complete and utter liability. He's the weakest link, and he gave a penalty away. But I don't agree with that. Yes, Ten Hag is just in the door. I just hope he's backed in the right way, says Enjoy Writing. We cannot lose sight of the scale of the job. Thank you very much. The reason it's not a penalty on Harry Maguire, by the way, is, and I'll explain this very simple so that simple people understand it. For me, it's a penalty and it's a handball, right? I agree. His arm's there, he's missed the ball, it's landed on his arm, it's outstretched, it's unnatural, it's a penalty. 100%. Maguire's given a penalty away, it's a stupid thing to do. It's a penalty, right? But yesterday, Pulisic against Brighton had his arm outstretched as the ball went through. It caught his hand. They didn't give a penalty. Didn't even go to the VAR monitor. No penalty. So if that's not a penalty, Maguire's not, and that's why it's not a penalty. It's not because I don't think it is, but they didn't give it against Pulisic and Chelsea, so you can't give it against us. It's consistency. I think it's consistently wrong, but it's consistency. So anybody who's having a moan about it, counter me, because I think they're both penalties. But if one of them's not, then the other one's not, and that's why. It's not that I'm blind. I don't need to go to Specsavers. I know Maguire's handballed it. I know his hand is in an unnatural position, and yeah, I think it should be a penalty. But if you saw the Chelsea one yesterday, they didn't give it. So at least we've got some consistency. That's why it is. Second half's about to start anyway. Let's get the job done, because I say, you look at that league table and what it looks like at the moment, it would be a very big difference for Manchester United if we can get up and running here. I'm going to have to sort the clock out in a minute because it's wrong. But let's just get it started. So, second goal wins the game, really. I know we were 2-0 up against Sevilla, and 2-0 can be a dangerous score, but second goal wins the game, I think, here. I think it really pops their bubble. I'm about 3 seconds out with that timer at the moment, so I'm just about to change it. Because everybody's changing and I don't feel the same. There we go. We're right now. We're right. Time is right now. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. We're welcome on the United stand. Any update on Rashford, says Bezard. We're hoping he's going to be back on Thursday. That's Ten Hag's words. I don't see how Marcus Rashford can be back a week and a half after the groin injury, but apparently that might be the case. So we'll have to wait and see with that. We're playing a team fighting to get out of the relegation, and I'm very worried. I just want the season to be over now, says Zeus. And Enjoy Writing says, to be honest, Mark, I think refereeing decisions even themselves out over the season. Teams finish where they deserve to finish, says Enjoy Writing. Well, they're claiming for another penalty here, Forest. I mean, that really did not look like it was a handball. So I'm sure we'll get a replay, but it didn't look like anything like a handball. Lovely play by Anthony. And Ericsson with the bad pass there. But Martial's come deep to receive it. Lovely little Turner play by Martial. Here we go. You start to think things when this happens. Marvin says we can't rely on 1-0. No, I think we're going to need the second goal. Oh, Casemiro caught in possession there. He's been a little bit sloppy. Nice little ball in. Lindelof's done his job there, though. Good play. Good starting position. Well, they're going to show the replay here, but I mean, clearly it's not going to be. It does catch his hand, but again, that's not a penalty for me. You know what? It's not a penalty because of the reason Maguire's wasn't a penalty, but I'm still shouting penalty. I'm shouting penalty for both of them, if I'm honest. I'm quaking in my boots, says Zeus. You see, I think the rule needs changing. I think basically, if it catches your hand, accidental or not, just give a penalty because then everyone knows it, and you know whether it's unlucky or not, at least everyone knows the rule. I think the subjective nature makes it inconsistent. Like I think if it hits your hand, it's a penalty. You know whether it whatever. And what I mean is, remember the one against Sociedad that happened to us with Martinez. I mean that it hits his knee and then it hits his hand. Never should have been a penalty. But if they change the rule and say, look, whether it's unorthodox or not, it's going to get given, you can always moan that you're unlucky, but at least you know it's a penalty. But it's just too subjective, isn't it? I mean, that's not a penalty for Delo, but I can see why they might moan about it. Ericsson into Sancho. Loads of space here. What can he do? Jadon Sancho. Nice ball into Bruno. Plays it return. Oh, I think Sancho's done it right. He's put the cross in, but there's nobody there again. Reminds me of Bruno in the first half. Anthony wins the corner. I don't think Sancho can be shooting from here. It's lovely played by Bruno. Look, intricate passing again. 1-2. Lovely ball into Sancho. He's got to cross it from that angle. There's nobody in the middle. I don't think he should shoot from there. Corner to United. One day, Harry Maguire's going to score from across. Anthony. Oh, he wasn't far off. He's gone for the curler into the top corner. I wonder about Casemiro's mental state ever since the second red card. He doesn't seem to be the same Casemiro, says Liv. Well, he's not coming back from an injury, is he? He's coming back from a suspension. So, yeah, I mean, look, Casemiro at the moment is just a little bit, by his high standards, he's not quite as dominant as he was, but he's on the ball now. Here's Wan-Bissaka. But he's probably been told today to do quite a subdued role anyway. He's got to, he has got to protect those centre-backs, and it might become a very different job for him over the next few weeks. But remember, this is the first time this lot have played together. As Lee Berman says, Casemiro's babysitting today. is Anthony. Nice little ball forward. Good interception. We've made it very hard for Forest, actually. Oh, he's away from Maguire again. Offside. Directive Creator, thank you very much for your super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, he's offside there. He's gone too soon. But Lindelof was there to cover anyway. Casemiro is learning the game in England too, says Enjoy Writing. Well, we don't want to be doing this too often. Oh, he got ahead of Maguire there. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. The cross is good, and I mean, Maguire's got to get. I mean, it's in the air, Harry. Come on, that's your bread and butter. £80 million. At least be good in the air. Come on, he's got to go and win that. That's a free header for the number 9. Luckily, he's a bit shit. Shouldn't be I'm sorry. He should not be getting beat on that cross. He's good in the air. He knows where it's coming and he gets beats to it. He shouldn't be getting beat in the air there. I understand him getting beat for pace. That's not his strength, but he shouldn't be getting beat in the air. Here's Sancho. Good play, good play. Here's Anthony. Oh, Anthony Martial was nearly played in by Bruno there. Keep an eye on the clock. I say that because how long can Martial play? Careful with the passes, Bruno. That was a bit sloppy. Don't want that to start slipping in. What are the stats? They're on the screen there for you. They should be going round, actually. Yeah, they are going round. If only Martial was reliable, he makes a huge difference to our forward play, says Ian. Thank you very much, Ian, for being a member for 28 months. Thanks for your super chats. You can do that through the $sign. We'll ring them out. De Gea hits it long. I tell you what, that's a cracking ball into Sancho as well. Love that from De Gea. Sit down, Beth. That was a fantastic ball by De Gea. We just need the second goal here. I think the second goal and the game's over because Forest really haven't created much anyway, and I think the second goal would kill it. Nathan, thanks for being a subscriber for 2 months. The only thing Harry's head is used for is a trampoline for other players to score own goals, says Nate. Here is Maguire. Have a shot. Have a shot, Harry. Goes wide. Ericsson. Cross is good. Martial's there. Edge of the box. Anyone want to hit it? Casemiro. No, he's hit it. That's a bad ball. But Lindelof takes up a good position again. I tell you what, I think Lindelof's been fantastic so far. We do need number 2, Maria. Here's Anthony. Here's Martial. Here's Wan-Bissaka. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Yeah, shoot again. Ericsson. Cross is good. Oh, Bruno trying to get up onto it, but Sancho retrieves it on the far-hand side. Look at how high up the pitch Maguire is here. This is not from a corner. Corner. Well done. Good play by Bruno. You know who I want to score, don't you? I just want to... Maguire, 2-0. Shut up. They got the camera on him. Bruno's on the corner. Oh no, he's gone short again. Why do we keep going short? Oh, he's just hit the bar. That's why. Ericsson played it back to Bruno, who just ran onto it and smacked it straight against the bar. In fact, I think the keeper might have got a finger on it. But that's why we went short. And to be fair, we went short again with Anthony. Here's Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho. Oh, God, lay it off. Lay it off. Anthony. Oh, well wide. Well wide. That goes for a corner. Can't get that second. I think he gets a save on it, doesn't he? Oh, it's a great save by Navas. Palms it onto the bar. Bruno's going to take the corner here. Well, the last two we've gone short, and it's worked quite well because Anthony wasn't that far off. I think he's going to cross this one. Oh, he's gone short again. Ericsson. Deflection. They're on the edge. They're on the edge. Cross to the edge of the box. Navas clears it. Ericsson. Bruno. Back post Sancho. Another corner. United push in here. Would you take Raheem Sterling in the summer, Mark? I would. He can be happy at Chelsea, proven and a constant threat. No, I wouldn't. I don't want Raheem Sterling at Man United. No way. I think Pep got the best you're ever going to get out of Raheem Sterling. I don't really want him at United. We're pushing here for the second. Come on. Now put one on Harry's head. Harry's head. It sounds like a TV series. Oh. The adventures of Harry Maguire's forehead. Go on, shoot, Anthony. Have a shot. Oh, just wide. He curls it again. There's a lot of people having a pop at Sancho in this game. I think he's had a much better second half. He had that cross. He's playing some nice little intricates. Well, somebody said Anthony's only got one move. He's been very close a couple of times. Great save by Navas from that Bruno shot, by the way. We really should be getting the second goal here. We're about a good 10 minutes after the second half. Enjoy writing says, I forgot Raheem's ex-Liverpool. Bruno had his... had taken his armband being taken by Maguire seriously. A true captain's performance, says Cole. And hi Mark, not seen domination like this since I last spoke to my mate Kev, says Cal. Just need to get this second goal. It's been a really good second half performance from United, and I think Forest are just looking for the long ball all the time because obviously we've got those centre backs, but in a way. That's made it quite easier for us to defend because they've not been able to get up the pitch. Players have stepped up well today, says legendary Baldy. Bruno's telling somebody off. Foul on Sancho. People who hate on Sancho don't understand football, says Jack. Thanks for your super chat, Jack. I just want these 3 points. You know, you look at the league, you look at the results yesterday. 6 points ahead of Spurs with a game in hand. 3 points ahead of Newcastle. 59 points. I don't think anybody's getting 70 points and not getting top 4. We don't need another 11. Such a massive 3 point. I know every game's important. You know, Thursday's important. Every game's important. But I just think you look at those 3 points. You look at what it does to the league. Oh, Bruno with another good shot. We're dominating them now. Domination. Just need the second goal. Bruno the Magnifico. Look at those stats, everybody. Look at how many shots on target we've had. People who hate Bruno doesn't understand football, says Sim. Come on, put the cross in. Oh, it's over Maguire's head. Navas punches it. Well, I suppose somebody else could have headed it in. I just always look at Maguire on crosses. Mark, Tracy's, we've done that one before. Well, in Wan-Bissaka. I don't know why I'm treating this team as if it were last season, says Zeus. Why does every average goalkeeper have a worldie against us, says Andrew? Well, I don't think Navas is that average, is he? I just can't believe we haven't got the second goal yet. Half an hour to go. I mean, that's the only thing that's concerning me, is that it would be a bloody travesty if we didn't win this game based on this first hour. But you know what football's like. I mean, the only way Forest have got forward is with the long ball. And we've dealt with that quite well. I just want to get top 4. I just want to. Watch out. Here we go. Oh, Casemiro. Their centre-back's just come out from the back here. It's a good run. Still got it. Forest on the attack. Catch by De Gea. Catch in practice. It really does feel like a matter of time. Although I think Martial's going to have to come off. And I know, you know what? I agree. I don't like it, but I do agree that Martial's got to come off. Sevilla on Thursday. You do not want him picking up injuries. It's going to make us worse. Martial's still on though, says Lee. Free kick. If it would only be about the 10th time this season our lack of killing teams off comes back to bite us. They're allergic to scoring goals, says James. Well, Forest are going to make a double substitution here. One of them's not going to be Lingard. Hi Mark, if you could swap one player for any league with one player from our current squad, who would it be and why? Look from Singapore, says FD7. I think, you know, for me, I think we need a striker or we need a centre back. So I would swap Osman for Weghorst, even though we don't own him. Or I would swap McTominay for De Jong. Go with what you need. This is the sort of stats we should be looking for in every game, no matter the opponent is good or bad. And I think Fu, that's exactly what he wants to do. Ericsson, another save by Navas. Just mad. This is mad. First watch along in weeks. Love you, Mark. Keep it going, says Ibrahim. Thank you very much. We were actually offside on that one. I don't know whether he was actually. Linesman gave it. Well, they're taking their striker off, which might be a good thing for United because I don't think this other guy is that quick. Surridge has come on. I think Maguire will be a lot happier playing against him. I think Casemiro has an injury. He looks a bit off it, says Alan Kenny. Can I replace my arrow on PC with Maguire pointing, says Legendary. Casemiro tackle shy since last ban, says Ash G. Well, I hope that's not the reason that Casemiro's not been at his pre-ban best. Maguire's just given a foul here. I saw somebody say that should be a second yellow in the chat. Have a word. Hi Mark, do you think Tielemans and Sabitzer would be good summer transfers? No, Kevin, you've got to go better than that. We're Manchester United. You know, we have got to be trying to compete for the likes of a Casemiro, a De Jong. Here comes the cross. You know, we have got to be competing for the likes of a De Jong, a Bellingham, a Casido. You know, as much as Tielemans is free, there's better midfielders available. Good tackle. We're just inviting a bit of pressure from Forest here, but That's a good cross. De Gea, good take. I think De Gea has been very effective today without having to make any big saves. Here's Sancho up against his man. Yellow card for Williams. Ex-Liverpool. Good play by Sancho. Drawn the yellow card against his fullback. Might give him a bit of freedom in the last 20 minutes. Hello, Sim, Galaxian. Well, the longer the game goes on, the longer he keeps Martial on, the better. But we don't need to bring Brandon Williams on. Defence is okay. He can't play centre-back. I wouldn't take Delo or Wan-Bissaka off. I think Delo and Wan-Bissaka have done a decent job. Bruno cross. 4 minutes left with Martial, says Will P. So he's saying that he'll come off on the 70th minute. That's a bad pass, but Maguire will pick it up. I need a stretch. I'm team new keeper, but De Gea's distribution today has been 10 on 10, says Thomas. It's been really good today. You know, call it out. I think that ball to Sancho was fantastic again. We nearly saw one of those a couple of games ago at Old Trafford. But the range of passing has been really good today. I mean, look, I'm not saying that De Gea's distribution is fantastic, but for me it's not a massive problem. I'll admit that. But today it's been very, very good as well. It doesn't look unnatural. I think sometimes De Gea can look a little bit unnatural with the ball at his feet, but I think today has been good. He's not going to mess this up now, please. No. Yeah, even the long balls that don't hit, you can see what he's trying to do. I mean, Anthony's just missed the flick on, but, you know, they don't always work anyway. And I think we've pressed very well from the front. And with 20 minutes to go, I mean, I'm talking bollocks. They have had a couple of chances. You know, they had that free header, didn't they? About 15, 20 minutes ago. Thing is, as well, we played on Thursday night, so you know he's got. I'm doing this for a reason. You know he's got to make some subs because we played on Thursday night. But I really wouldn't want to make any subs. I really wouldn't. Like, who would you take off? Because you know we haven't got any centre. I mean, everyone will say Maguire, but we haven't got any centre backs, so you can't take them off. We haven't really got any full backs. You can't take them off. Midfield wise, you've only really got Fred, and up front. It's Alanga Veghorst. So we need to get back to scouting top-class young players, says Enjoy Writing, like when Madrid got Camavinga, 20 years old and top class. Why can't we do that, says Enjoy Writing? I think you need the money. I think, that, you know, this is why so many United fans talk about the ownership so passionately, because we do need the money to go and buy those sort of players. If you want to get Camavinga, you want to get Bellingham, you want to get Tchouaméni, Casido, you want to get these really good young talents, you've got to have the finances to do it. You've got to have the recruitment team to do it as well. 20 minutes. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You can't be disappointed because you knew it was going to happen. Wout's coming on. We just need to keep the momentum. Mark, can you believe Bruno's played every game before the international break, played the international break and still playing every game now? It's crazy, says Abdu. Well, I can believe it because he's a machine, isn't he? Casemiro's cross is good. Oh, Martial. That could have been your last thing. And a bit like Bruno in the first half, I've got to say, as good as Martial's been, he's got to score that, and it's Casemiro's cross. Yeah, he's got to score that. On the back post. It's a little bit more difficult than Bruno, even though it's closer, because he's got a couple of players on him, and he's coming off now for Veghorst. This is a fitness thing. This is just completely about protection. We've got to look after him. Simple as that. We've got to look after Martial. It's frustrating, but if he went and got injured in the last 20 minutes and was out for another month, we'd say we should have took him off. So Weghorst is on. We're not down to 10 men, Stephen. I mean, ooh, Harry! Thank God! For a minute then, they put a cross in across the face of the box, and Maguire was there to tap it home into his own goal, and thank God he moved his foot away, because I was just thinking, no, this for me is man of the match from Maguire, because it was there and he just didn't put his foot out, thank God. He looked behind him, he's thinking, I don't know what's behind me, and he just didn't touch it. So important. If we had the other Harry, we would be 3-0 up, says Joshua. I just think they should be good investments in the midfield, Mark, says Kevin. We can still afford a top player, top tier player. Also, Navas is man of the match, says Kevin. If you could bring one midfielder of any era to United, who would it be and why? Love the football insight, says Alan. Into this team from any era, I mean, did you watch any films with Kev this weekend, Mark? Says Matthew. I don't talk to that Kev anymore. That was basically the last time I spoke to him. It was years ago. This is going to get scary, says B Cost. Well, I think, look, Ten Hag has got to make the Martial substitution. He's got to do it. Derek says, imagine how frustrating it is to be Martial. Yeah, I agree, Derek, but you've got to. He has to be taken off because you've got to protect him. We need him. We need him against Brighton in a week's time. We need him against Sevilla on Thursday. Here's Anthony. Come on. Oh, how's that? Oh, Anthony gets the shot off. Navas palms it away, and it goes in between two white shirts. Oh, De Gea's just played a bad pass now. But this was such a good chance. Anthony gets the shot off. Navas is stretching down, palms it away, and it just goes behind Bruno into the right of Weghorst. Otherwise, it's a tap-in. He can't know. I think it was Sancho, actually. He can't know. A Sancho assist to Weghorst in the 77th minute, says Badder. I hope so, mate. Well, the Forest fans are starting to get up for this a little bit. Bruno heads it away. I think Forest will go down. So, it's not that they're a good side, but you just got to be careful, haven't you? 1-0, you just got to be careful. Navas has been unreal for them, says BD. Look, if their keeper's man of the match, it says everything, doesn't it? Derek says, I'd be so much more confident if Martial could play 90 minutes. I think he might be able to at some point, but at the moment you've just got to, you can't play him 3 times in a week. Here's Anthony, come on, 15 minutes to go, get the second goal, kill the game. Missed Ericsson with Bruno so much, says Stephen. Is Navas on loan at Forest? Because, what a ball! Yes! Delo! Come on! I love it! I love Delo! And that's 2-0. Fingers on the pulse. 2-0 to Manchester United. Anthony with a goal and an assist. United 2-0 up. Game over. Fantastic goal. Absolutely brilliant. And that's the goal we needed. Well, I'm so pleased about that because, you know, I'm a big fan of Delo anyway, and I think he gets a lot of stick, but I think he's had a good season this season. Filling in at left back. Lovely little run. Clever ball by Anthony. And Manchester United, they've got a relationship. They've got a relationship. They're good. They're good pals, Delo and Anthony. Game over. People are saying top four have that. I just want to see this goal again. Bruno again involved, and then it's Anthony. Drives forward. Look at this. It's so good by Anthony because it's brilliant play by Anthony. Great finish by Delo, but that run by Anthony to set that up, absolutely brilliant. 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 Absolutely brilliant. He travels. The thing I like about that with Anthony is he travels. He gets the ball and he travels. He goes past players and then he plays the pass. That's proper wing play. That's the Anthony. I was saying this on tour. I was saying we haven't seen the Anthony I know yet. That's the Anthony I know. That's the Anthony I know. Anthony's not this player that just shoots and curls it in from 30 yards all the time. Or shoots from 30 yards. Anthony, that's what Anthony can do. And that was brilliant. Anthony masterclass when he wears the white kit, says Brett. Well, he's got it again here, and he's feeling confident. And he nearly plays in Weghorst. Oh, what a massive 3 points this is, by the way. Massive. Especially after the disappointment and all the injuries. Fred's going to come on now. Makes sense to get him on for Ericsson. Yeah, great performance from him as well. I'm going to drop the player ratings in the video description, by the way. Links in the video description for that. Nobody can call Anthony a flop, says Smoggy. Well, I don't know why anybody would. You know, you've got to give a lad time. But he's starting to kick in with the stats now, isn't he? I mean, how many goals and assists has he got? I mean, he's got one of each today. And I wouldn't mind voting Anthony man of the match today. I don't think he's ever had it. Bruno's been brilliant, but, you know, Anthony's just been getting better and better the last few weeks. Get Bruno off for a rest now, says James. Bruno gets a rest on Thursday, mate. He can't play. He's suspended. The weekend results helped us, Xander, but you've still got to go and win your games. Anthony's the new Robin, says Why. And Ten Hag usually takes Anthony off by now, and we can see, thankfully, he's putting on a top performer. Anthony stealing the Bruno show. Look, at the end of the day, Forest are crap. They're probably going to get relegated. But it's more about the circumstances. Not having Martinez, not having Varane. A team that's going to get relegated potentially at home, playing them at home. All the injuries, Thursday night's results. It just didn't matter how we won today. But actually, really pleased. Really pleased with. I think De Gea's impressed me. Again, he's just whacked a 40-yard ball to the feet of Sancho. I think his distribution's been ridiculously good. The Lindelof's been really good. Delo's been really good. Casemiro's probably been quite quiet, I've got to admit. Wan-Bissaka, probably, decent. Sancho, in and out. Anthony, superb. Bruno, Ericsson, superb. Martial, very pleased with it. I think the thing for me is that we defended from the front. Traditionally under Solskjaer we would protect and sit deep, but we defended from the front. We went on the front foot. We didn't let them get any momentum, and Bruno, Ericsson, Anthony, Sancho, Martial were a big part of that. Do you think Lingard has and his outrageously high salary also has a relegation clause in his contract? I can't imagine any team paying his wages, says Hannibal. 100%, yeah. Listening while I revise for my uni files. Delighted with the results so far. Keep up the good work. And thank you for keeping us entertained, says Fuster. Thank you very much. I think Lingard's only signed a 1-year deal anyway, if I'm correct. When you lived in Dublin, did you see any Gar matches, says Dylan? I don't think I did. I saw it on the telly. Gold, welcome to Members Club. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We were very close to 631,000. So bottom right-hand corner. Forest seem to have just sort of gone into give up mode now, which we're more than happy with. We can deal with that. We can deal with that. Remember, you can do your player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I'm sort of got an idea of what I'm going to do, but it's for you to do yours. I think we could get another goal here, you know. And look, give Adam his shout out. Adam said in his road trip, easy home win for Manchester United. Easy win for Manchester United. And at the moment, he would be right. But I've said this before, there seems to be a desperation in the media for Anthony to be a failure. Even some journalists around Manchester United seem to want him to be a failure. But I've never seen it in the fan base, and I don't get it. I think he's, if you knew him from the days at Ajax, like last season, what you saw on that second goal is the real Anthony. We've not seen enough of that. That's why Ten Hag talks about, he needs to be more direct. He needs to have more confidence on the ball. And I think it's just gradually coming out of him, because that second goal, I mean, we've seen him score goals, but that second goal that he assists for Delo, that's exactly what he's all about, really. So, that was close. Bruno Fernandes, I thought he'd scored there. So did he. Oz says, Mark, you've been saying it for weeks. Anthony's been steadily improving, and it's showing more and more. I think he can have a bright future here, says Oz. Look, the thing about Anthony is he's never an £85 million player, but that's not his problem. That's Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh's problem. Like, he's probably a £50 million player if we bought him in June, but we didn't. We bought him at the end of the transfer window, and you pay a premium. But he's a Ten Hag signing. He played under Ten Hag. Ten Hag knows exactly what he's all about and wanted him. I just think he was always going to be a success. What level of success? I'm not saying he's going to be the next Ryan Giggs or the next David Beckham, but, maybe he'll just be a nanny. But he's a good player. And today, I just think he's probably looking like one of his best performances. Jared says, I think this is our best, most dominant away performance this season. Well, we are contextually, we're playing a team that's not very good. But you've still got to go out there and do the job. And I think that even I felt that this was a difficult game to predict. And fair play if you predicted a win, because I went with a draw. But I went with a draw because I think it's very hard to predict when it's such a change to a team. And look, even like Martial, we've hardly seen this team play with Martial. Here we go again. Look, foul for Casemiro jumping in and winning the ball. He's saying what you want about. Shout out to Adam Maguire. He did call it, says Mank in Chicago. Well, I don't think Casemiro's afraid to make tackles, because that's pretty similar to the tackle he made against Southampton. Was it Southampton got sent off? Shout out to Adam. Redemption after Maguire Gate. A really key win today after the weekend result, says Nick P. Yeah, and I just want to address that and say you can sort of have a good look at this now, and look how good that looks. Look how dominant that looks. 59 points, third place. I think, that's 6 points ahead of Spurs with a game in hand on them. Yeah, we're still going to be vulnerable defensively, of course we are, but I just think with the games that we've got left, we literally need 3 wins, really. I think even 68 points might get us top 4. What a performance by Victor Lindelof as well. What a performance. He's been brilliant. Not put a foot wrong all afternoon, has he? Bruno into Sancho. Be nice to see Jadon get a goal. No. He was greedy there as well. You can understand why he was greedy. But it's wild. Wild shot there. Big boost for the team going on to Friday morning, says Mary. Yeah, Lingard's coming on now. I mean, that's just an embarrassment coming on for 4 minutes. He looks embarrassed. Then again, he's on good money. Check your bank account. How much is he on at Forest? Is it like 150 grand a week or something like that? Cathell says it's been a perfect Lindelof performance. You might be surprised what I'll give Maguire, actually. As I said, in the first half, I'd have given him a 5.5 because I thought he started terribly and then grew into the game. I'm pretty much willing to give him a 6, average. I think he's grown into the game okay. I mean, look, he's not done anything amazing. And also, in the second half, he did get beat on that header, didn't he? On the one-on-one. But I'm in a generous mood. We need to count on these players. I'd give Maguire a 6 and Lindelof a 7 tonight. I think I'm happy with that. They've kept a clean sheet. There's been a couple of shaky moments. Forest ain't that good, but there's been better performances on the pitch. But at the end of the day, we've got what we've got. He's been okay. 6. I'm happy to do it. 3rd and 4th and 5th, Spurs and Newcastle play next, says Thomas Jen. Well, that's brilliant for us. And we've got to go to Spurs away. We have got to go to Spurs away. So, that game in hand could be, look, as long as you don't get beat by Spurs. And at the end of the day, if you get beat by Spurs, you don't deserve to get top 4, do you? Lots of people aren't happy that I'm going to give Maguire a 6. Chelsea won't win a game for the rest of the season, says Bailey. Newcastle Tottenham next Sunday. What time do we kick off next Sunday? Sunday, bloody Sunday. Sunday, bloody Sunday. We kick off next Sunday against Brighton in FA Cup at 4:30. So I might do a watch-along of Newcastle. Oh no, I can't. It's 2 o'clock. Can't. I'll watch it, but I can't. I could. Charlie, thank you very much for joining the Members Club. Congratulations to United for exceeding its point total for all last season. Brilliant. We got 58 last year. Already put past points total from last season, says Dan. Yeah, that's not actually worth celebrating, mate, because last season was a bloody joke. To not get 60 points is a joke. Have a stretch, Mark, says Brian. I actually think the now we're 2-0 up, these are the sort of games where Maguire starts to excel anyway. He wins a lot of headers in these sort of games because teams start to throw the high ball in. We've seen him do this against Everton before, so I actually think these sort of games sort of suit him. When the game's won and teams are just pumping in the high balls, it's suitable. Super fly. We've got 4 minutes of added time here. Player ratings and then match reaction, then fan forum. Lots to discuss on the channel. So what are we at? 18, 4 minutes to be added on, 22, 10 to 7. Let's go. I'm going to keep that there. Remember, you can download OneFootball, free to do it. Links in the description. Get all your individual stats on the OneFootball app. You can see how many people have done successful passes, etc. Links in the chat to do that. Free to download on Apple and Android. Get all your latest breaking football news. We want a Newcastle-Tottenham draw next week, says Damon. Remember, we'll have a game in hand. We'll have 2 games in hand on Spurs. Not been able to watch. How have we played? Says Jack. Here's Anthony. Oh, good block. Charlie, thanks for joining the members club. We've played really well, actually. As an attacking unit, we've played really, really well. A couple of moments really for Forest that should have been avoided. I mean, I wasn't happy with that cross that Maguire sort of had cement in his feet at 1-0. I think that was a big chance for Forest, but maybe they could have had a penalty. But apart from that, you look at the stats, and I don't think anybody can deprive Manchester United, penalty or not, half a chance or not. Look at that. We've had 8 shots on target. They've had none. We've had 21 shots to 6. Nobody can argue about the result. Nobody can argue about refereeing decisions or anything like that. We've thoroughly deserved to win this game. Attention moves to a massive game on Thursday and then a massive game on the Sunday. Enjoy writing. I mean, look, Brighton's going to be a bloody tough game. I mean, I'm looking. Look, this game today was massive, and to win it is great. But they're not a good team, Forest. Let's be honest. Sevilla away on Thursday is a big game, and then Brighton are fantastic. So we go to harder things. Would you keep Lindelof, Mark? Yes. I'd sell Maguire and keep Lindelof. I would say I've said that so many times. Bruno's man of the match, but Lindelof's been immense in the back. Deserves a lot of praise. I think the 3 standout players for me today are Anthony, Bruno, and Lindelof. I thought Martial played well. Eriksen played really well as well. Been very, very happy with Delo filling in at left back. But yeah, those and Casemiro's been steady. I hate to do a Graham Souness, but he actually has been a steady Eddie today. Bring on Palestri, says Alan Noonan. Well, we might get a chance for a third goal here. Here he is, Lindelof. And that's the final whistle. Cooper and Ten Hag shake hands. Manchester United take the 3 points. And we solidify our grip on top 4. We don't want Thursday night football anymore. We want to watch Emmerdale again. We want Wednesday and Tuesdays. And that's a big, big step to something we deserve. The only way we weren't going to get top 4 was because of these injuries. And fair play to the lads who stepped forward today. Fantastic performance. 2-0 to Manchester United. Very pleased with it. Do your player ratings, links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Make sure you subscribe as well. I'll see you on the match reaction in a minute or 2, and we'll go through the player ratings because I think they're going to be very interesting.